So under Traveler lore, I'm gonna post a picture. So this is a picture of the Milky Way, and there is a small red dot, kind of 2/3 of the way from the core down towards the south, if north was up, that says charted space. This next image, this is the Traveler universe. This is that little red blob, and this is essentially what's known as the third Imperium, meaning there's been two Imperiums before this, but this is the third. This is current day for us. This is about 3,500 years in the future for us now, and this is the extent of what has been explored. So Earth is kind of in the bottom middle of this map, and then everything else has been explored. If you want to see where we're going to be at today, on the left-hand side, there's a feature. It's mostly black. It says the Great Rift. It kind of comes up from the bottom left up towards the middle. Looks like a hand or a claw. Behind the claw, so to the left of the claw, you're going to see an area that says Trojan Reach. And just up above that is Spinward Marches. We're going to be in the Trojan Reach, kind of between there and Spinward Marches in that general area. I'm going to zoom in and show you another map here. So this is specifically where we are. We are where we left off. We were on this world of Mogin, right here in the Senless Federate. I'm going to draw some lines on here. So on this map, this is the sort of map that Mongoose uses in all their Traveler books. You'll find similar things in other previous editions, but there's this red line. Oops, wrong tool. This red line here that kind of snakes around. This is the edge of Imperial space. So everything to the right of that map, that's the Third Imperium. That's Law and Order. We are just on the frontier, just on the outside of that. We started, or we ended last time on Mogin, and we're going to be journeying to Orsosh right here. And so we're in this area called the Senless Federate. And this is just a small independent group of 3 stars and their planetary systems, Senless, Orsosh, and Mogin. And we've been tasked with undertaking some tasks here. And I'll get more into the detail of what has happened before this episode. But just to kind of give you an idea, we are on the outskirts of the Imperium. This is a place that is independent of Imperial control. That means that pirates have sort of called this home. So this is can be a rough place, but you're free to do whatever you want to do out here. And so a lot of people flock to these frontier areas because you're not far from Law and Order, but you're also not close to Law and Order, so you have that freedom. In the world of Traveler, or with the Traveler game, you can essentially play any sort of game that you like. There's rules in there. If you want to run a science fact game, very steeped in science, like a Star Trek sort of game, you can do that. If you want to do a space opera like Star Wars, you can do that too. If you want to play the Imperial Navy and you go out chasing down pirates, you can do that. Or if you want to play the pirates that runs from the Navy and raids shipping, you can do that as well. What most people do is, it's called free trader. You're essentially like the A team. You're guns for hire. You're a merchant. You're just out trying to make money. You're hauling freight as you're exploring, looking for ways to earn credits. And that's kind of what we're doing. If you're familiar with the TV show Firefly, that's essentially what most games of Traveler are like. You're out on these border planets and just finding trouble and trying to overcome adversity. So, with me so far?
Yep, sounds good.
Perfect. Let me get rid of the drawings on here. Where this whole thing started, or the series of adventures that we are doing, comes from a book produced by Mongoose. It's called Hellworld Heists. This is actually not in print yet. It's they've sent out the PDF. It'll be, in fact, should be in print this month. and there's a series of 5 heists in here, and we've actually done the first 2. This is the third. But where it started, and this will be important because we're continuing this mission, is we were met by someone on in a high port, and this someone was Lady Ada Weishart, and I think I have a picture of her. I do. So Lady Ada Weishart met us, and she had a proposition for us. She was looking for a team to steal an asset in the Albi system, and this asset belonged to a mega corporation called GDCO. And we would know what GDCO was. They are essentially one of these megacorps that goes out and they do a lot of good. They bring technology to those that don't have it, and develop infrastructure, and but in the Senless Federate, they've made an agreement with the princes of Senless that is essentially benefiting the aristocracy, but the people themselves are struggling. And so she wanted us to steal an asset off of a grav train. And this train heist, it sounded easy until we found out what the asset was. And the asset was a person. And this was Director Skylark Tanlin. And we actually kidnapped him off of the train. This is an older guy. He was a director at GDCO. And now that he is in Lady Ada's possession, she has been not mistreating him at all. She's been speaking with him at length about what can be done. And what she wants to do, she wants to change the status quo on Senless. Now, Senless and the Federate, they use water on these 3 worlds to keep the people captive. They drug the water, and so they can put in chemicals to make people calm and peaceful, and basically can run roughshod over their lives. And Lady Ada Weishart doesn't want that to be the norm for the Senless Federate. She wants independence for them, and so she has captured this director from GDCO to try and change the contracts between GDCO and the Senless princes, and she's using him to get information in order to do this. So the first heist, we had to steal Director Tanlin off of the train, which we succeeded. The second heist, we went to Mogin, and there we were refueling, and we heard that there was trouble at one of the rebel bases, and we were essentially part of the rebellion at this point, that they had been overrun by Senless troops. And so she asked us to go and try to, one, get information that the rebels had, and if we couldn't get it, to make sure it didn't fall into the hands of Senless, and to save as many people as possible. And so we mounted an assault on the Red Rock base, and managed to get the information as well as destroy the computers there before it fell into the hands of the bad guys. And where we left off, we had a bunch of refugees on our ship. And our ship is, this will be in the journals, there's 2 ships. The first one is the Extan Ridge. This is a free trader that Lady Ada has let us use. This can dock to her ship, but this is the one we can leave her ship and go and do the things we need to do. Her ship is the Aurora's Fortune. I'll post a picture of that as well. This is a larger jump shuttle. Again, we can dock to this, and it can take us many parsecs out of the way. So we've got these prisoners, not prisoners, rebels that were going to be taken prisoners on board our ship, and we have docked back with the Aurora's Fortune, and we are on our way to Orsosh over here. It's 3 hexes away, and each hex is roughly 3 trillion, 30 trillion miles. So we're looking at about a 90 trillion kilometer jump to get from Mogin to Orsosh. And we can do this through the technology that's called a jump drive. We put in the coordinates, and the ship enters a bubble that's like a tear in the fabric of space-time. We get this bubble, we inject it with hydrogen, and we are now a singularity. We can travel great distances. It'll take us about a week of real time to get to Orsosh. And so where we start is we start on the Extan Ridge, which is now docked to the Aurora's Fortune. We've got a whole mess of people on our ship that are now refugees, and we need to see what we can do to try and help them. So handling this many refugees is not easy. Our free trader has 10 staterooms, and we could put at least 4 people into a stateroom. We've got 39 extra people on board here, and so it's very cramped. And it's also putting a strain on our life support systems. The life support systems on this ship has only been handling basically 5 people, but now we've got 40 people, 8 times the load. And when we start out, we're actually going to do a role here. This is going to be an engineer life support role. So let's look at the character sheets and kind of give you the layout there. So if you pull up your character sheet, I'm going to pull yours up as well. If I'm looking at Justin's character sheet here, at the top you've got your name, species, then you've got 6 characteristics: strength, dexterity, endurance, intellect, education, and your social standing. And we're not so much concerned about the big number, we're more concerned about the modifier. And that modifier will modify your dice roll. In Traveler, every dice roll is 2 6-sided dice. You'll roll 2d6, you'll add your modifier, and try to beat a target number, which is generally 8. Now, if I just ask you to do a dexterity check, that's how you'll do it. And on Foundry, what you can do is you can hover over where it says Dex, and if you click on that, it'll bring up a smaller box, and it will ask you, is this a difficulty 8? And unless I tell you otherwise, it's going to be difficulty 8. And if you have any special modifier, like if I say make that with a +2 modifier where it says DM, you'll just put 2 in there, and then you'll hit roll. So Justin, I'm going to have you do that for me. If you'll just roll a basic dexterity check. This is just to test and see. Perfect. So you got a 6. You're going to add your +1 modifier. That's a 7, which you then got to add you added the +2 on there. You got more than an 8. You got a 9, and so it shows up as a success with a +1. So that +1 is what's called the effect. And in Traveler, the effect is just the difference from your target number. So you were 1 above your target number, so your effect would have been +1. There's also below that, it says a chain bonus. Oftentimes we will do a task chain where it's multiple skill checks that kind of assist each other, and so the next person to do a check might get a +2 on their roll. Had you failed, they would get a penalty on their roll. And so if you're doing a skill check, it's essentially the same thing. You're going to roll that skill, and your skills are down below your attributes. And if you look under engineer, you have a checkbox next to engineer, which means you have the basic training in there. You know kind of what it is. There's no penalties to that. If you didn't have the check mark, you would have a -3. But you have a check mark there. And you actually have a 1 on power, but this is a life support roll. And so when you click on life support, it's going to add your 0, which is your life support skill, and then it's going to add your education, which you have a +1. And so you'll always, when you roll a skill, add your skill modifier plus a characteristic modifier, and again, you're just trying to beat an 8. So I'm going to let you make this life support roll for us, Justin. So if you want to roll that, there's no modifiers on this, just do a straight life support roll. And so you got a 6, so you with a -2 is your effect. So this is what happens. So we can tell that there are problems on the Extan's Ridge, on this free trader that we've got. And Justin, you are on the Aurora's Fortune, since you've not been with us for the first 2 sessions. And from the bridge of the Aurora's Fortune, you can detect that there are issues on our ship, that our carbon dioxide scrubbers are not working as correctly as we would like, or as efficiently as we would like. And perhaps Lady Ada sends you over to the Extan Ridge to see what you can do. And so, recognizing that this is the case, we've got Ulysses, who is essentially our pilot. You're going to meet with Ulysses to discuss this. So, Ulysses, you and Justin, you meet probably in the galley of the Exton Ridge. There's some refreshments set out, but no matter how many refreshments you set out, it seems like they always go too quickly. All of these refugees come in, and you suspect that maybe they're hoarding things, Ulysses, but that's another problem for another day. Right now, you've got the word from Justin that the carbon dioxide scrubbers are not keeping up with the population on this ship. So, Ulysses, what would your response to that be?
Well, I know my way around a ship. Why don't we take a look at it, see if we can figure out what the cause for that is, and see if we can fix it?
So this will be a task chain. So your chain bonus is going to be a -2 on this, Ulysses. So I'm going to give you a choice on here. You don't have to do life support, but you can do like a mechanic roll if you want. And you're going to have a -2 on that because maybe he wasn't able to correctly identify which scrubbers or what part of the scrubbers. So you're going to have to try and do some troubleshooting on your own. Nice. So you rolled 1 above an 8, and so even with that being the case, now did you add that -2 chain bonus?
Oh, I don't think I added that.
Okay. So yeah, I'm
That
looking.
might-
I just see your +1 and your +1, and so that's actually, if I take 2 away, that's going to be a 7. So that's going to be a -1 effect on that. So it takes you some time. Now, with a failure, we like to fail forward. So you're able to find what needs to be done, but it's going to take you longer than you expected. What might have taken you 1d6 minutes, I'm going to roll a 6-sided die. This is how many hours this repair is going to take you. It's going to take you 1 hour instead of just 10 minutes or something. And so you're going to have to devote some time to this. Is this something that you want to do, Ulysses, or do you want someone else to try and handle this?
Well, I think maybe that time difference there is because Ulysses he's not, doing this as fast as he could. He's taking some time to slack off while he's on the clock here for Lady Ada, and he's going to get it done, but in his time, he's going to get it done.
So, while this is happening, Sir Dalamont, there's a few medical cases on board. A lot of these people are suffering from various minor injuries. Nothing serious, but there's been some minor injuries that have taken place on these rebels after that extraction. Why don't you give me a roll? This will be a medic roll, just to make sure that you're able to assess the health of everyone on board.
Yeah. Some routine evaluations of patients. Nothing special.
Yeah, nothing special. You're basically just checking vitals, making sure everyone's healthy. But with that level of success, you detect something that there's actually there's a bit of an illness going around amongst some of the children on board. It looks like maybe hand, foot, and mouth or something, some sort of highly communicable disease, which is often the case whenever you get big groups together. How do you want to handle that? Do you set up like a quarantine? You're already pressed for space, but you can't just let this run rampant.
If he's able to 100% determine there's few bad cases, he'd definitely set up a kind of quarantine for it. Depending on, especially if there's a cure for whatever ails them, if he's aware of what in particular it is.
Yeah, so the ship would probably have some sort of medical bay where you could process samples and maybe come up with some sort of either inoculation or maybe like a syrup that you could give everyone, some sort of medicine or vaccine, that as the case may be for whatever disease. And you'll spend some time there. With a success, with an effect of +3, you're able to do this. You're able to get this handled. But this is going to occupy you for basically 2 or 3 days to try and get this synthesized and administered. While this is happening, there are other troubles that are brewing. The air is it's tasting foul as the scrubbers go offline. You've been checking, all these kids for what's going on. And Ellis, you and Chief, you begin to hear grumbling between some of the people on board. And Ellis, you hear about this. It's a kind of a noble family. At least they think they're upper class, and they say that their engineering specialty is shatter-resistant dome lattices, and they should be a higher priority to receive the medical care than any lower class family. And they kind of look over at another family that's talking to Chief. And Chief, this lower class family, they specialize in ash resistant fabric manufacture, and they tell you they've got 3 children that are ill, whereas this other family, they've only got 1. And if we got 3 kids that are sick, it's going to spread 3 times as likely. So we should be the first to get treatments. Ellis and Chief, how do you handle this?
Well, I mean, Chief's not terribly amused by any kind of favoritism. I feel like there's probably already some kind of protocol in place to deal with this, and, this odd, queue jumping is kind of frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. If everyone just kind of gets in line, you see this working smoothly, but as soon as people start to jump the line, it's, all hell breaks loose. Ellis, what about you? How do you deal with this noble family that thinks they deserve preferential treatment?
Well, Ellis is a bit of a diplomat, so he's not very happy to see this fighting going on, and he's gonna do whatever he can to keep the peace. So
that sounds like a task chain with the 2 of you together. I think maybe leadership from Chief, and Ellis, you're pushing more onto your diplomacy skills.
yes.
Okay, so then what do you want to roll? Diplomat?
Yeah.
Or you can roll steward, which you're not great at steward.
I think I'll go diplomat.
Okay, so let's do yours first, and yours will modify Chief's. So give me a diplomat roll. Got it. That'll add 2 to the Chief's. And so, what do you say to this noble family? As they say, look, you know how this is. We're more important to the cause. If our work suffers because of illness, then the entire rebellion will suffer because they won't have our geodesic dome lattices.
Well, I'll say, listen, we don't want any more people to get sick, and of course we're gonna take care of your family member as soon as we can, but we do need to get as many people as we can away from the general population on this ship to prevent any more people getting sick. So we'll take care of all of you as soon as we can.
So what you're saying is we'll get our own room. Is that what you're saying?
Listen, there's not a lot of space on this ship, but we'll take care of you, don't worry.
Now, I'm going to hold you to that promise. And they look over and they can see that Chief is trying to provide some sense of direction to this poorer family who is just pleading their case that, this ash-resistant fabric, this is vital to the resistance. Should we go to a world that's choked with ash like Mogin was, this is what protects us from the elements. Chief, it's going to be a leadership role, and you can add a +2 to that from Ellis's chain bonus.
Perfect. That's good, because he has a -1. He doesn't really have the patience. He's not a very social guy. He's probably just trying to yell at people. But, that helps. Oh yes, that does.
Excellent.
Nice.
So, what do you say to this more poverty-stricken family with 3 sick children, Chief?
I appreciate your concerns, but there's an efficient protocol in place as is, and we're working with that. Thank you.
And they look over and they see this other wealthy family that seems to have had some satisfaction with Ellis, and they look at Chief and give you a trusting nod that you will take their best interests to heart. and that seems to quiet down whatever struggles that might have been taking place. One thing that does help is when the scrubbers go back online, the air begins to get clean, easier to breathe, and that tends to quiet everyone down. Now, one thing that you are told during your trip to Orsosh, which will take you 1 week, you're told a little bit about Orsosh. In fact, you can look this up on your ship's computer, and I'm going to make the journal entry. In fact, it should be, if you go to journals and then the Darkwater Convoy, you should have access already to the Orsosh system, but I'm going to post it here as well. So this is what you would know about Orsosh. It's in the Trojan Reach. There's a UWP, the Universal World Profile Codes, that are listed up at the top, and that tells you about the starport and all the various bits of information that you would need. But essentially, you know that Orsosh is a captured rogue planet that orbits a gas giant. Its atmosphere is unusually almost pure oxygen. And the cause for this is chemical. The crust is composed of natural superoxides stirred by tidal forces in the molten core. The original settlers had planned to mine the gas giant for hydrogen to create a hydrosphere while they studied this strange little moon, but those were blown out of the sky during the war. And this war happened quite a while ago. And now, with the Senless princes in charge of everything, any efforts to make Orsosh a better place have gone by the wayside. The big problem with oxygen in these quantities is that it's dangerous. It amplifies corrosive effects. It's toxic to most sophonts, sophonts being those beings intelligent enough to have language, which includes you. And it accelerates the rate at which things burn. The populace know that even small fires bring disasters. Now, there's only a little bit of water. It's at a place called Reaching Lake. It's a crater on the equator, and there's many dry riverbeds running from it. And most of the people here are nomads. They follow the cycle of the tides as the water ebbs and flows. And when Senless took over, they brought technology and infrastructure, but they forced the elders here to bend the knee to the princes, or the boyars as they're called, who dammed the rivers and did things their way. So the big takeaway is that this place is oxygen rich, which means fire is bad. In fact, as you begin to leave the jump and come back into space, about 100 diameters, or roughly 1 million miles from Orsosh, Ada comes across the comms on your ship and tells you that she has contacted the rebel cell, who have wrested control of a series of aquifers from the Senless princes. And they have a landing pad that's in the head of a pipe system, which should be able to keep your ship hidden. She warns you that the planet is oxygen rich, and you'll need to adjust your ship to ensure that nothing will corrode or spark, especially during landing. In fact, her voice comes over the intercom, crisp and poised. Attention, crew. You are now within orbital range of Orsosh. Be advised, atmospheric scans confirm a thin atmosphere, but an oxygen concentration at 300% of standard. Lush, certainly, but volatile. Before you even think about breaking Atmo, I'm suggesting you modify the Exton Ridge's intake manifolds and verify that corrosion shielding is on all exterior joints. You'll want to do the same for anything remotely spark-prone. That includes your boots, Sir Dalamont. Do not underestimate this world. A single friction spark on entry could light you up like a torch in a solvent bath. The last crew that skipped containment protocols is still orbiting. Well, most of them, anyway. Final approach begins in 5 minutes. Adjust the ship's polarity, seal all the hatches, and for star's sake, keep the air scrubbers dry. Orsosh is beautiful, but it loves to eat metal. I will see you on the surface. Ulysses, it seems like you've got some preparations to make on the Exton Ridge. This is going to be a mechanics role. You don't have to do this. You can delegate this, but if you want to be on hand to do this, you can. This mechanics check will be a difficulty 6. And the effect of this will modify the piloting check you need to make to land safely.
Well, who knows a thing or two about ships? Who's a good mechanic here?
Anyone better at it than others? Anyone have at least a 0 in mechanics?
I have a 2
I have a 0.
in mechanics.
I have a 0. Oh wow, nice.
You have a 2 in mechanics?
Yes.
For Ellis? Oh, I think Ellis is the man.
Well, yeah, Ellis, why don't you go get the ship ready to enter atmosphere, and I can take us down nice and easy.
So that's a difficulty 6 mechanics roll to make sure that the ship is ready to enter this hyperoxic atmosphere. Oh, excellent.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
So you will get a +4 on your piloting roll. And this is a difficulty 10 because it is a very touchy situation. You can't produce a lot of heat. You can definitely not produce a spark as you come in. So you need to beat a 10, Ulysses, but you'll get a +4. Or excuse me, a +2. Ooh. So
Barely.
barely. so you got the 10. The
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the engine sputters there for a second, taking on these changes, but it's all right. I've piloted more difficult routes.
as your ship comes in, the Orsosh it's quite a sight. The strange, formerly rogue planet now orbits a brilliantly ringed gas giant, and the sky of Orsosh is almost pure oxygen and radiation from the gas giant's other moons. It creates brilliant atmospheric effects. In fact, the very sky seems to be on fire from all the aurora effects on the thin atmosphere of Orsosh. And so up in the sky, filling about a third of the sky, is always this giant, this gas giant. Like if Jupiter were, where our moon is or something, just a huge gas giant. And this is what you are orbiting. The where's my notes? There we are. The Lady Asa's voice crackles in over the comm as you land. You learn to breathe differently here. No one tells you that. Not the charts, not the maps, not the old drifters who speak in riddles. The air is thick with life, but it wants to take yours if you're careless. That's Orsosh, beautiful and brutal. I was raised in the oxygen wastes, just the storms and the whisper of my own breath turning hot inside a cracked rebreather. They say the planet teaches you, if you listen, teaches you patience, teaches you pain, teaches you what it means to survive when no one expects you to. Well, I want to remind you of why you're here. These people, my people, they need us. The Senless Federate has subjugated us for too long. The plan is to change the terms of the Federate's deal with GD Co. The next phase of their decades-long contract is going into effect soon. I want to change the contract without them realizing it. Change the terms on Senless and in the GD Co database. No one will be the wiser, and the people here, as well as Magan and Senless, will have free access to clean water. This is why we are fighting. This is why you are here. Now, as a side note to Orsosh, the oxygen here is deadly. You can survive about 12 hours before oxygen toxicity will take over your body. So you need to wear your breather mask or a vac suit while you're here. The deadliest aspect, though, is fire. So oxygen accelerates the combustion reaction of fires. It enhances the speed and severity at which things burn. So severe is this that many things which would not normally ignite will do so on Orsosh. But despite the planet's thinner atmosphere, there is 3 times the oxygen here than standard. And so all fires will do 3 times normal damage and burn through fuel 3 times as fast if you're using fuel. Any explosives, grenades or things like that, will have double the blast radius. And slug throwers, like an auto pistol, or things that use chemical propellant. They will jam or explode if fired. Although magnetic weapons, a Gauss pistol or Gauss rifle, will still work. And lasers, laser pistols, laser carbines, these will cause most things they hit to ignite. So your big concern here is oxygen, how it's going to affect you, how it's going to affect the things that you do. After landing, you are met at the drainage pipe by a series of ground cars and trucks that are here to escort the refugees to their new home and to help to camouflage your ship. The rebel base is a twisting, abandoned pipe network that is intended to bring water from the main aquifer, but it was seized by the Senless princes during their rise to power, but these rebels have recently and secretly reclaimed it. Lady Ada introduces you to her adoptive mother, Elder Dekasin Weishart, who oversees the shelter here. She's a very kind, older woman. She looks like she's in about her 60s or so, quite a bit older than Lady Ada by probably 30 years or so. And you are shown a place where you're able to rest here. In fact, the building here is such that it's sealed, and so they pump out certain concentrations of oxygen, so you don't need a mask inside the buildings here. You can rest comfortably, you can speak without a mask or a vac suit. Chief, when you get here onto Orsosh, you get these people offloaded. You see that poor family. They actually come up and thank you for standing for them, to ensure that their children were treated in a timely fashion, and they feel like you really helped them out. Ellis, you are not given the same respect from that wealthy family. They feel like they got you to do what you were supposed to do. You were simply doing your job. There's no reason to thank you for that, as is often the case with those who have and those who have not. Justin, when you are here, how do you spend your time? Is there anything you want to do amongst these rebels? You can go speak with Lady Ada, you can speak with her mother, anything that you feel like you would want to do while you're here.
Yeah, I guess I could go speak to Lady Ava.
Yeah.
Lady Ada.
So you grab her. You were formerly on her bridge, but you've been essentially commandeered onto the Exton Ridge because of the skill set that you bring. And she pulls you aside and sits down, and she lets out a sigh, and she looks around and she sees the hustle and bustle and sees these rebels and now refugees are finding a home. And she's not looking at you, just kind of in the distance, the 1,000-yard stare. And she says, "They left me here to die, you know. Not the rebels, my first family. They said I was too clever, too loud, too dangerous. I was just a girl, but I already knew things I wasn't supposed to know. Things about power, about inheritance, about fear. It's funny how exile feels like a punishment until it becomes your forge. The rebels found me after 3 weeks wandering alone. They gave me a name, gave me a purpose. I gave them everything else: strategy, secrets, structure. Enough to start pushing back. Now they call me Lady Ada Weishart. A mouthful, I know, but names carry weight here. And this one, it's kept me alive. Who I was before, it doesn't matter." And then she stands, and she looks regal for a moment. "I owe Orsosh my life. Everything I've learned under its skies. If you want to live here, really live, you need more than oxygen. You need conviction and silence. Some truths, my friend, are best kept buried, at least until the time is right." And she gives you a smile and then walks off to go and attend to her mother. Now, Ulysses, you likely overheard part of that conversation. And Sir Dalamont, you would have also noticed when she got up that sort of regal bearing she had. You heard the tail end of that conversation. What do the three of you, Ulysses, Sir Dalamont, and Justin, what do you speak of after hearing, one, what the purpose of our duties with her to make this switch, to switch the contract between GDCO and Senless, but also it sounds like she came from terrible means, that she was basically abandoned here on Orsosh, but she's risen to a position of leadership through her own gumption and her own desire.
Changing the contract seemed like a small step in a large battle. Are you going to keep fighting even after this?
You say that to her?
Yeah.
She says the fight will never be over. Once we change the contract, that's only the beginning. I will devote my life to see that the people of the Senless Federate are treated with respect and with the basic dignity that we all deserve. I'm not going anywheres. This is my home. What about Ulysses? Anything you say?
No, I think Ulysses just kind of thinks to himself for a minute and thinks, well, she seems pretty smart, and someone of her bearing would know that a well-paid crew gets the job done best.
So she made an offer when you first met her in Thieves for 100,000 credits for the completion of every leg of the mission that she would have for you, and this leg here, she has given you credits. In fact, I think you were able to talk her up a little bit for rescuing these refugees. Now that you've brought them here, do you approach her about payment for simply bringing them to Orsosh?
We could discuss that when we get into some more of the details about this next job she has for us.
Well, she, as you begin to consider, the financial benefits to yourself and your crew, you are drawn into a celebration, an impromptu celebration here on Orsosh. It's to welcome the refugees and to thank you for the service that you have provided. Now, Orsosh is not equipped to handle such numbers for long, but there's a very hopeful atmosphere. I've got a picture here of the celebration. Very hopeful atmosphere, especially if you were able to keep up morale, which you were. Here at this celebration, there's food, there's water, there's folk dancing. And even Lady Ada and much of her crew are quick to join in. And, in fact, Lady Ada will ask each of you in turn for a dance, and she spends that time thanking you individually, recognizing some of what you have done up to this point to ensure the success of the missions. At one point during the celebrations, you were offered a sacred drink that the Orsosh, no one else seems to be partaking of this, but Lady Ada, when she sees it, she smiles brightly. And she will hand it first to Sir Dalamont and says, this is the Orsosh coming of age ceremony. We drink this brew and wander the surface until the universe reveals its hyperoxic secrets, and it will bestow your true name upon you. At least such is their culture and custom. Now, you have already come of age, but they wish you to be part of their tribe. If you drink of this, you will be one of them. And she looks at you as though you have a choice. You can partake or you can refuse. What would Sir Dalamont do?
Caught up in all the festivities, talking to the pretty ladies that are dancing and drinking, having a few drinks themselves, Delamont's definitely going to take that drink and down it. Maybe not even fully thinking about the significance of what he's doing.
Nice.
So he'll accept it from Lady Ava and drink it.
Cups are brought around to Ulysses as well. Do you partake of this?
I think he'll taste it. If it doesn't taste too bad, he'll finish the rest.
It has a very earthy sort of taste. It tastes like rich clay soil. There's some. You're not sure if it's a tea. Something's been steeped in here, but it definitely tastes like something organic has been put in here. Something earthy, some sort of plant, perhaps. The taste is not bad. It's been sweetened. It's not overly bitter. It's not overly sweet. It's just very almost medicine-y, almost astringent.
Well, I suppose if it's not too bad, Ulysses will finish his drink.
Chief, a young girl comes over to you, and she's blushing as she brings you the drink, and she kind of cocks her head to the side as she reaches her hands out and says, "Please, please drink," and hands you a cup.
Hmm. I think that's actually quite a hard choice for Chief. This is like a cultural,
Yep,
significant
very
thing. I
much.
mean, this place is beautiful. Uh, the people seem fine, and Chief is happy to fight for a cause, but to declare himself one of the people of this place he's never been to, I think he would decline. I've got a mission. Maybe I'll come back and call this place home when I've done all I've set out to do.
Give me a carousing roll. You should have the carouse skill.
I
This
believe
is to
so.
see
Yes,
how
it's in that
politely you can turn this down without causing offense.
one. I got some news.
Got a minus
uh,
three.
I've got like quite a bad one.
Okay, so wow, that's only a minus two and a minus one social. Yeah, you basically say, kind of what you said that I may come back and call this home, but for now I'm a mercenary. This is as a paid job. At least that's kind of what she hears. You're in it for the money, and you see her shoulders slump and her eyes begin to well with tears and her chin begins to quiver, and she turns and runs away, and she actually drops the cup and it lands with a splash as the drink spills out on the ground, and you see a few people look down at it and look up at you with this look of not quite horror, but they're very shocked that something like this has happened. But then they, recognizing who you are, they look away and you see them whispering amongst themselves. You've likely just made some sort of social blunder here, but you know what? It will be forgotten within a short amount of time. But you definitely didn't handle that as delicately as you might have. But that's Chief. Chief doesn't mince words. Chief is pretty blunt.
Yeah, I think he's still confused as to why she's even upset, but like I could absolutely see how that would be taken the wrong way.
Yeah, and you know what? If it were me, I wouldn't drink it either. So I'm not drinking something somebody's handing me. At a rave or at a celebration. I know better. So let's go to Justin. Someone comes up to you with a small cup of this liquid and hands it to you, and it's a kind looking gentleman. He's got a neatly trimmed beard and hands it to you and says, "I understand you are friends with Lady Ada. Please drink of this and be one of us."
Down the hatch.
Nice. Without a second thought, you throw it down.
Yep.
Ellis, you are approached as well, this time by a group of small children. It is the children of that wealthy family that are here, and they've brought it over, and you can see someone kind of pushing them, nudging, like, "Go, give it to them, give it to them." And it's a kind-looking woman from Orsosh, but she's sent these children over to give you the drink.
Yeah, so after I saw that whole thing with Chief, I will happily accept this drink. I don't want any crying children over here.
Nice. Those of you that drank the drink, give me an endurance roll. Chief, you don't need to do this. Everyone else, endurance.
Whoa, those are good die.
That's a very good roll.
Oh dear.
All right, Sir Dalamont and Justin, you guys are just fine. It tastes kind of nasty. It almost tastes like a dirty sock. It's got a little funk to it. Sir Dalamont, you recognize this is mushrooms. There's some sort of mushroom that has been brewed or steeped in here, and this is probably some sort of hallucinogenic material. And so you maybe sip slowly. Justin, you throw it down quickly, but for whatever reason, maybe personal tolerances, you don't have any sort of adverse effect. Ulysses and Ellis, you are not so fortunate. You end the night getting sick, but not just sick. You suffer agnosia, which means that you perceive objects to be things that they are not, often fantastically so. In other words, you have hallucinations. And you hallucinate as you look up at the aurora in the night sky up above through this glass over this dome. You see the aurora taking shapes, much like people would find shapes in clouds. You're finding shapes in this amazing, brilliant plasma fire up in the atmosphere. And some of these shapes you find funny, oh, there's a kitten and a turtle. And then some of them, oh, there's me crashing into a cliff face at high velocity and burning up on this high oxygen rich planet. And you go through the whole gamut of emotions of joy, happiness, sadness, grief, and then you both end up just heaving your guts out like a wino before the night is over. This doesn't go down well with yourselves, but the people here on Orsosh come and pat you on the back and give you water and give you other drinks to keep you hydrated, and it's almost like this is what they were hoping. They were hoping that you would have these hallucinations. Now, Dalamont and Justin, you didn't have these. Do you fake it, or do you just act like that was no big deal?
That's a good question. I'm just gonna roll with whatever I feel. So if I feel fine, I'm not gonna fake it.
You would feel fine, so you just sit back and relax. You're still enjoying the music and the dancing.
Put my hands behind my head, my feet up.
Nice. Sir Dalamont, what about yourself?
I think tonight's been a special night for everyone here. I look forward to this journey with everyone.
You look over and see that Chief there's not a lot of people talking to Chief. There's a few people come by and say hi, but they're all the refugees. The people here on Orsosh, they don't seem to want to go up and talk with Chief, as though whatever social slight he has enacted, you recognize this with your high social standing. He's just knocked himself down a few pegs. Do you go and talk to Chief at all, or do you figure Chief, he's fine, he's got this, he doesn't care?
Dalamont will try and smooth things over.
Ooh. With
Between
the people of Orsosh?
Yeah, and Chief. Chief's almost kind of like a second father.
Yeah.
To Dalamont. So he understands why Chief didn't drink it. So he's definitely going to try and speak with the people of Orsage, tell them that it's just Chief in general. He never drinks anything, never changes who he is.
This sounds an awful lot like an advocate role. And I'm going to use the chain bonus from Chief's carousing blunder, which is a -2. So modify that with a -2 and give me an advocate roll. And you can use your social standing or your education or intellect on there. Social standing is probably going to be your best chance of success.
Oui. So you do a
So do an advocate roll, and then you're gonna
yeah,
put a
and,
-2 in the DM.
and then DM. Okay.
Yeah. And then does it use your social skill?
Education social's the
You
same.
so even with the penalty, you got it. So you actually are able to smooth things over with the people, and you maybe you use a little bit of humor to diffuse the situation, which seemed to be the right move. And a few of the people go up and they kind of pat Chief on the back and no hard feelings, Chief. Sorry, you'll still be one of us. In spirit, if not in person. And they begin to approach you, and the night goes a little more smoothly for you. And you probably look over and see that Sir Dalamont was responsible for this, and Sir Dalamont might raise a drink in your honor. How do you handle that, Chief?
At first, very confused because I don't think he's got, hold on, he's got a 3 in social. I don't think he even really read the room. He's just hanging out, like just like drinking that not weird drink, and then
Yeah,
suddenly
so you
people
probably didn't
start
even
coming up.
notice. You're just like, oh great, people aren't talking to me. This is
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean
what
the
I
girl
like.
felt bad, but yeah. Well, he'd be grateful. And then when he sees Dalamon, he's like, oh, it comes to light.
So is this
He'd be
irritating
gracious,
now
lad.
that all these people are coming up and bugging you?
Not necessarily irritating, but I do think he almost preferred how it was before.
Nice. Well, regardless, the evening passes well for all involved. There's about a week of downtime that goes on while the refugees they're finding homes for the refugees. Lady Ada is gathering intel, and she finally calls a meeting with all of you. And she says, I have a favor to ask. Much of the data that the rebels have gathered about Senlis Station is from 2 hackers, Idar and Radius. They bluffed their way to an administrative position on the Senlis Station. They were building a back door into the system, but I've learned from my contacts that they ruptured a fuel line and got caught. Luckily, they survived, and, as fate would have it, they are on Orsosh. Senlis has always liked to dump trouble here. They're being taken from the pad at Reaching Lake to the Darkwater military base in 4 days. We have data, but no one knows the station like those 2 men. The rebel leaders want to mount an operation against the prison convoy and rescue them. They're hopeful that you can lend your expertise. What do you think? And before you answer, Sir Dalamont, I want you to give me a roll. This is let me see what I want to have you roll for this. Give me actually just a social roll. Oh, nice. So she made a comment that kind of stuck with you. She said that Senlis has always liked to dump trouble here. And when she said that, there was something in there, kind of a backhanded comment. You think there's more to that than just her saying it. And you look at her, and you heard about her being basically abandoned here on Orsosh, and you wonder if she's not from Senlis. But right now, she is asking if you will help them mount an operation against the prison convoy and rescue Idar and Radius. What do you say?
We're always happy to help a good cause. However, we do have our own finances to manage and responsibilities, things we have to pay for. Is our agreement still in place as far as compensation goes?
Sounds like Ulysses has gotten a grip on you here. She says, yes, of course. 100,000 credits, as promised.
Talmont will look to his companions to see if they approve.
Ulysses, you're the one that's
Oh.
probably most interested in credits here. Does 100,000 sound fair to you?
Well, I mean, that's a good price, but I mean, think about the you pay us well, and we're sure to get the job done better. So maybe you could pay a little bit more.
She puts her hands on her hips, kind of a feigned irritation. She knew this was coming. She's not surprised, but she's also prepared for it. Give me a persuade roll, if you would. Ooh.
It's not the best.
She says, look, I gave you a little extra last time. I think you owe me this one. This one will be easy. Just knock over a prison convoy. Can't be hard. Do that, we'll give you the 100,000 credits. And then, if you do a good job, I'll have more work lined up for you. We can talk bonuses then.
All right. I'll take that price. But how about this? How about you and me? We play a hand of cards, and we'll say double or nothing for my take. How about that?
Give me a gambling roll. She's good at this. You need to beat a 10. And you rolled a 12. Yeah.
Nice.
She says, very well. Double or nothing. 200,000 credits. I'll see it distributed to you upon completion of the mission.
Oh, now I like how you're talking. We'll get this mission done. Don't worry.
Nice. You have the full support of the rebel leaders and at least a dozen rebel soldiers who volunteer to help you. And they provide you with some information. The first is that due to the high oxygen environment, the Senless Federate soldiers, they're not armed with assault rifles. They have low tech level 7 gas submachine guns, basically air rifles, but these are a little more high powered. And the rebels here, they actually have bows. Kind of like Rambo 2, where Rambo goes in with a bow against these guys with machine guns. But instead of machine guns, these are not firing combustion, these are simply air pressure. And they look over, I think that Ellis is the only one that has an auto pistol. They look at you and say, don't fire that here. No, put that away, don't fire that. That's just as likely to kill you as it is the person you're shooting.
Well, do you have something else that I could use?
Oh, yes, we've got bows, we've got rocks and clubs, plus whatever Lady Ada might have in her ship's locker. And she says, well, I've got a few things specific to this world. I don't have bows, and I don't have sticks and rocks. I do have 2 Gauss pistols and 1 Gauss rifle. And these are weapons that, rather than using a laser or firing a slug, these actually use electromagnetic force to rapidly propel a projectile at hypersonic speed. And these things would not cause a fire or a spark. She's got 2 pistols and 1 rifle that she'd be willing to loan, not give, loan. She says, "I do want these back. These are valuable."
I'll take a pistol.
Let me give you a Gauss pistol. Anyone else want a Gauss pistol or a Gauss rifle?
Sounds like we ought to take one, yeah. Anybody interested in the rifle?
So I'm going to unequip your auto pistol, Ellis, and I'm going to put your Gauss pistol on there. There we go.
I think if Chief wanted the rifle, that'd be fine with Ulysses.
So, Chief, you want the Gauss rifle?
Yeah, if nobody else is keen. Chief's a long gun kind of guy.
You do have a laser carbine, which you could use, but it's likely going to ignite whatever you shoot on fire, which could be good, could be bad.
I mean, yeah, I could see why that might be useful, but you never know when. Well, if I'm trying to shoot them, but that fire might spread. Yeah, it's just for general safety. Fire's bad.
Yeah, let me put the Gauss rifle on your character. Perfect. And there's a Gauss pistol left. Sir Dalamont, do you even have a weapon? I think you just have your stun stick.
You just got a stun stick. Dalamont kind of looks at, projectile and Gauss weapons as if they're magical instruments. So he's not really keen to take one.
Your position as leadership is probably stronger than your ability to fire a gun anyway. Your gun combat skill's a -3, so you might be better directing traffic.
Or operating the vehicle that's in traffic.
Yep, or operating a vehicle. Or if we can find a helicopter, absolutely. There's one Gauss pistol left. Anyone want that pistol? All right. If you change your mind, let me know. There is one there. She says anything that you need, we can try to manufacture here. If you want fake uniforms, if you want forged papers, if you want equipment, we don't have a lot of high-tech stuff, but there is a workshop if you want to get creative. What we're looking at is a convoy. There is one electric prison truck and 2 armored electric ground car escorts. These escorts will likely have a few soldiers and is likely to be armed as well. Probably not with what you're familiar with. Some of the rebels have said they've seen them mounting some sort of giant crossbow on top, firing a projectile. I would expect it's going to be not just an arrow. We could do some reconnaissance and find out exactly what they're doing with these trucks, but they look dangerous. There are 3 possible routes between Reaching Lake and the deep water. These all wind between hills and spires and along arid crags. I suggest that between now and when the operation takes place, that one of you reconnoiter these paths and find out if one of them seems more likely or which one might seem to be the best. Or perhaps you can narrow their choices by making one of them impassable so they are forced to use the one that suits us the best. Just don't make it look like it was intentional. Make it look like something has happened to block the path. Now, there are also shadows in many of these crags where comms would be spotty. That could be good because maybe it's more difficult for them to radio reinforcements, but bad in case you need reinforcements yourself. So anything you need, let me know. I'll do my best to provide it. If I don't have it, we can try to craft it here. Otherwise, we've got 4 days. Any questions about the convoy? Perfect. So the TLDR is that there is a prison truck and 2 armored cars that are going to be taking this route in 4 days. The journey will take about an hour, and we're trying to rescue 2 rebel prisoners, Idar and Radius, these 2 hackers that would have valuable information for us. This is the part of the adventure, much like the Grav Train robbery, where you get to come up with a plan, and then we will act out that plan and see if your planning was good. So I'll let you guys kind of discuss some options here, and if there's anything that one of you wants to do during those days, do some surveillance or try and sneak in, become a sendless soldier, whatever you want to do, let me know and we can make some rolls and see how well it goes down. But otherwise, I'm going to give you a few minutes to come up with some plans.
Okay. I'm not a tactical expert, but it sounds like the same spots that maybe have radio interference might be choke points as well.
Yes, absolutely. Probably slot canyons or huge rocky outcroppings. It might be best to go see it yourself in person and assess which one you think might be the best.
Sounds good.
Who wants to go do that?
Ooh, Chief would probably want to go along. It's only something
Yes, I'll go too. Justin will go.
Yeah, Ulysses will also join.
Ellis, are you going to go and do that?
Yeah, I guess I could go.
So there are 3 possible routes. Do you want to all go together or split it up?
Oh, we might as well all go together. We have time.
Yeah, you got 4 days. What else do you want to do? If you're going to try and craft some stuff, you may be pressed for time with that if it's anything significantly difficult. Otherwise, we'll go and do some reconnaissance.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and do...
Dalmat's.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Dalmat's just thinking about maybe crafting things that could be used to maybe halt the convoy without them being immediately alerted.
Yeah, do you have
Maybe
any
like
ideas?
maybe some sort of spike strip or something. Are they on wheels? I guess I should ask first.
Yes, they should be wheeled vehicles.
Okay, and it's kind of rocky terrain.
Yes.
So maybe something that's kind of like mirrors the way certain rocks might look, but have spikes in them that could puncture a wheel.
Nice. So maybe camouflage them. That can absolutely be crafted. That's going to take an engineer. Sorry, not an engineering role. Let me pull up the having a moment here. That's going to be a sorry, engineer. You can do an engineer role to. A lot of times that's for ships, but this is also to help you craft things. You can also try to explain this to the locals, and they can try to craft this for you. If you want it to be stealthy, I'm going to do 2 roles. One is an engineering role, and the other one is a stealth role that's modified by the engineering role. And then they can try and craft that for you. So if you want to give me that engineer role, and you're not great at that, but the difficulty on this is a 6.
We'll give it a shot.
So just need to beat a 6. And you got a 5. So that's okay. You're going to have a -2 on the stealth portion. So now give me a stealth roll with a -2. And this one is an 8 that you need to beat.
Oh, can. Alright, it's gonna look weird, but here it goes.
Okay. So you drop some plans for them. They're like, okay, boss, we got this. And you head off to go do your reconnaissance, confident that they're going to come up with something that will render their wheels useless, as well as be camouflaged to the point where they won't realize it's been placed there. It'll look like some sharp, craggy rocks or something. And you gave them excellent plans. You told them exactly what you need. Now you just let them go and do it. Anyone else want to do anything before you go and do reconnaissance? Okay.
Well,
yes.
well, worst case scenario, we could always just set up some explosives in the slot canyons and trap the convoy
Do that.
in between debris, and that could be a backup plan.
When
if
you
we wanted
say
to bring
the word
some with us.
explosives, you see eyes go large, and they're like, "Ooh."
Well, maybe an implosion of some sort, something to just loosen rocks to make them fall. Doesn't necessarily need to be explosives.
They don't have any explosives on there, but Lady Ada does. She's got some grenades that you can modify. She's got some plastic explosives. She's got some explosives if that's what you want to do. Do you take any of those with you to while you're doing this reconnaissance?
We could set them up and then just have that be a backup plan if the first plan doesn't work.
Perfect. As you head out to the 3 areas, I'm going to need some rolls here, and you can either roll recon or tactics military. and I'll allow for 2 rolls. Who wants to take those rolls? The difficulty's 8, either tactics, military, or recon.
I got a -3 in both of those.
Anybody have either of those?
A 1 in recon.
Chief's got military. Oh, he's got a 1 in military, so we're equal on that.
So maybe Chief does military tactics, and then who had recon?
Ulysses has a 1 in recon.
Why don't we have the 2 of you give me a roll?
Not a very educated man, old Chief. But
Ooh, excellent rolls. Okay, the 5 of you go and scout out these 3 approaches, and one of them you rule out right away. You like, if I was driving a prison convoy, no way am I taking this route, because there's already a rock fall on the road. So at some point, some rocks slid off. Mass wasting pulled it down off of a cliff face, blocked the road. You know that they're going to send out people to be aware of this, and rather than try and clear this, they'll just take an alternate route. So already you can scratch one of the paths off. There are still 2 that look like they could be viable paths. And there's opportunities along each route to use twisting terrain and rocks as cover. And several of the spots in the crag shadows, that comms would be spotty. And there's one area in particular on path number 1 that looks like it would give you your best option. You've got multiple points of cover. You've got an area, there's no real narrow pinch point, but you do have a spot where you think you'd have a really good shot at trying to get these guys. And I'm gonna take you to a map. This is kind of what it looks like. There's this path winding through. You've got crags on either side that's going to wreak havoc with communications. There's lots of cover. You can put yourselves and some of these rebel soldiers behind all these different rock mounds. And you guys can see this map, correct? Make sure I don't have the lighting turned off. You can see these rock mounds. Lots of places where you can get in here and cause trouble. There's also this large pillar here and these sloping pillars here. If you set charges, these would be able to explode or implode and slide down and potentially block the path there, block that road.
We could also go and create some debris on the other pathway. That way they're forced to take this route.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that way you funnel them onto this one.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do that, how do you propose to put that debris in place?
We just stand really far away when we do it.
Do you use explosives?
I guess we got those grenades.
Do you do it's daytime right now. Do you do it during the daytime? Do you come back at night? How do you want to do this?
Probably safer to do it when it's light out. If we're dealing with explosives.
Yep. I'm going to need someone to give me a roll to set these charges to blow this. And on your skills, there should be an explosives skill.
Ooh, -3.
This difficulty is going to be a 6. Who wants to place the charges?
I've got a -2.
Same.
I have a -3.
Sir Dalamont, what do you have? Are you also a -3? Let's see. Sir Dalamont, explosives. Yep, you're a -3. So I think it's either Chief or Ulysses.
Oh, at -2 each.
Yeah.
Could one of us help the other, maybe? And
Yes,
get it down
one
to
of
a
you-
-1?
So
Who has the higher education?
you're not severely pressed for time, so you can spend a little more time on this, which if you spend 10 times the amount of time, you can reduce the difficulty by a level. And so that's that'll make it a little easier. And then if you're working together, I'm going to give you guys a task chain. You can both make a roll, and we will modify it based on the results of those. Or I can give you a boon dice, which is probably the best way to go. The problem is neither of you are actually trained in this, so you're just kind of taking your best guess. If one of you were trained, absolutely would do a boon dice. Where you're not, I'm a little more reluctant to do that, but if that's what you want to do, I'm fine with it. In a boon dice, you would just roll 3 6-sided die, and you would take the 2 best ones. So, first of all, who wants to make the roll?
Ulysses gets a +1 with his education.
It's a -1 for Chief.
So I think it's Ulysses. If you get an effect of -4 or worse, you might be caught in the blast.
Yeah, I just probably wouldn't do it.
Give it a try. Could go worse.
Okay.
Only a -1.
Only a -1. Could have been far worse. So it goes off, and you send a huge pile of rocks cascading down onto the road. It doesn't block the road completely. It's maybe 3/4 blocked. So, if these guys had to get through here, they could probably find a path, but it would slow them down. The question is, are they going to be aware of this and know and say, we don't want to slow down because we've got high priority targets? You don't know. But you did the best that you could. You just wish that you could have gotten a little more lift on some of those stones and thrown them a little bit more across the road. Now, you could set a charge on the other side and try to send stones down as well if you want to, but that's another roll.
I don't think I want to risk it twice.
Like how big is the gap for the is the gap big enough for the vehicles to squeeze through?
Maybe the armored cars, you don't think if the prison truck is what you think it is, it's like the size of like a garbage truck. They're pretty big. It probably could not get through there easily, but the smaller armored cars could probably get through. The bigger vehicle, maybe they gun it and just try and force their way through. They may take some damage. But the hope is that they see this and say, now let's take path number 1.
Yeah, so that's okay. So it should be enough of a deterrent then.
Yeah, you feel pretty comfortable that if you were driving if you were the head of this convoy and you were aware of this, you would take an alternate route. So hopefully you have lured them into taking the path that you want. Now, do you want to set anything up here in case they do decide to go this route? Do you want to
Should we set up a grenade with like a tripwire or something?
Yeah.
So if they bypass, we could put a pressure plate like.
Do you want to send some of the rebels to be here in case they spot this is where it's going? And maybe have some advanced scouts spotting the path? You could have them stationed here.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Because if you want to try to set up a booby trap, that's going to be another explosives roll.
Yeah.
Just like set up a sensor that would tell us if they're over here?
Yes, you could absolutely do that. So that would be an electronic sensors roll to get that set up correctly. Who wants to do that? Ellis, is that one that you're skilled in? Electronics sensors? For some reason.
I have a 0 in sensors.
Okay. So you are trained.
I got a 1.
Oh, 1 is even better. Perfect. So Justin, why don't you give us a sensors roll? You just need to beat a 6. You got a 7. So you beat it. You beat the 6. So you get these sensors set up. Now the only worry is that you're in an area where there's not great communication through here, but you're not in that rocky crag. You're a little bit ahead of that, and so you feel pretty confident this will work. You would feel better if you could raise an antenna. You've got enough cable. You could go raise one on a rock face, but they might spot that. Do you want to risk it?
Is there any way I could like camouflage it?
Yeah, that'd be a stealth roll.
Okay. Let's see. I got 1 in stealth.
Got it. Nailed it. Yeah. So you get an antenna raised up, and you cover it with some dust so it's not shiny, and a little bit of dry, desiccated plant life. Stack a few rocks around it. It looks just like a little rock pile here, and it should give you a little bit better range, a little bit better signal. So you feel pretty confident that you've got a good sensor here. So you'll know if this is the way they're going, and then hopefully you have enough time to divert your plan over to here. But
Yeah, cool.
You feel pretty confident that you've got them set to go down path number 1, the one that is most beneficial to you. And when you get back to the camp, the rebels show Sir Dalamont that strip that you had asked for, and it is completely wrong. It's one, it's not sharp. It's designed that they could roll over it like the tire rippers in a parking lot here. If you go one way, that they fold down, and this one, it folds down both ways. And they thought that you meant, oh, they're supposed to see it and slow them down. You want to pop their tires? Oh, well, okay. But you know that whatever instructions you gave them, it was not correct. And so you can either have them try to revise that, or you can scrap that.
Has Dalamont spoken to any of the recon team about what they've done?
Yeah, so you guys would have been in communication during this time. So you heard that they did block one of the pathways, and another one was already blocked. So it already sounds like this might be redundant, that maybe this isn't as vital as you had thought.
Dalamont will kind of offer some light suggestions to maybe revise it.
Okay.
But he's kind of being polite at the same time.
You don't want their hard work to
And
go to waste.
this looks wonderful. Why don't we just make it maybe a little bit spikier and more rigid?
Nice. And spikier. Oh, you should have said, yeah. And then they'll quickly get to work on building this. And you know that this is probably not even going to be used, but at least this lets them feel like they're part of it, and that may be more important than anything else. You've got about a day before the convoy's going to leave. Any last minute things you want to do before we jump to the actual the meat of this and see your plan into action? What is your plan? If you can funnel them down this path, where do you want to put yourselves? In fact, I'll pull out some tokens, and you can position yourselves where you would want to be on this map.
So Ulysses is kind of thinking Chief has that rifle, so if we could get him some armor-piercing rounds or something, he might be able to knock out the main vehicle that we're trying to stop, and then that would allow us to get down there.
The nice thing with the Gauss rifle is I think it has armor-piercing 5. Oops, let me see that. So it's already going to punch. Yeah, it has AP 5, so it's going to punch through the first 5 points of armor no matter what it hits, assuming that it hits. So that's going to be your best chance to get through like those armored cars for sure.
And then if I remember correctly, in Traveler you can spend your actions aiming to get a bonus to your roll.
So in combat, you have there's a couple things you can do. You get a main action or standard action, which is like to fire your weapon or make an attack, and then you get one minor action, which is things like move, to move like 6 meters, or you can also aim, and so you can spend a minor action, and that gives you a +1 modifier to your shot. And so every turn, as long as you're not moving, you could aim and then fire. You can also exchange one standard action for 2 additional minor actions. So you could spend your whole turn aiming, that'd be 3 aims. You could spend a second round aiming, that would give you +6, and then that's as high as you can go. So if you're sniping, you spend 2 rounds just aiming, and then you get a +6 to your shot. So whoever has the rifle may want to be in a position where they have good line of sight and can put ordnance downrange.
Are lasers effective against armored vehicles?
They are. So, and the thing with lasers is on this high oxygen rich world, they will start fires. And so if you hit a car, like if you hit a tire, it's going to start on fire. Or if you hit a vehicle, the metal may begin to burn. It may start a fire on that. They don't have armor piercing, but whatever you hit with the laser is going to be set on fire.
Oh, okay.
So we do have to be careful not to burn our prisoners alive.
Yeah, so that's the worry. Now, those armored cars, as long as your prisoners aren't in there, you got no problem. But the big prison truck, you probably don't want to set that on fire. Because that's going to be just like a giant oven.
We could probably use it to scare them, too.
Absolutely.
If they see the result. Yeah, okay.
Now, we've got 12 rebel soldiers with us, and so you can kind of tell me where you want those, and I can put those on the map in whatever positions you want them in, and you can move your tokens to wherever you think you would want to be.
Do we know the order that the convoy is going to be in?
You don't. You could try to hack into their communications. It's all encrypted. It would be a very difficult comms roll to try and get that information, but that's something that could be done. Especially probably the morning of is when that would probably be the best time to do that. Let's see.
In its first curve here, that's where the obstruction was?
So we're going to assume that this is path number 1, so there's no obstruction on this one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah. And you can like if you're behind a rocky structure, that will count as cover, which is probably really beneficial. It's like having a little bit extra armor. On your turn, if you just duck behind cover, you lose your action, but you get the full benefits of that cover. If you are just behind like a rock, but you're still shooting over the top of it, it just gives them a penalty to their attack. They can still shoot at you, and you may get some partial armor from the cover, but they can still hit you. But if you're completely behind the cover, they need to go through the cover to get you. And so when we get into combat, which sounds like we're going to, we'll kind of go over that. Like, if you shoot, they'll be able to shoot back kind of stuff. So for now...
Everybody, what's our plan here? So these vehicles are going to go through, and then once we start firing on them, they're just gonna gun it. Do we want to slow them down somehow? Like, put an obstruction. Like, we could have 2 people closer at the beginning of the path, cause panic, get them to drive down, and then we have an obstruction later on, and then they have nowhere to go. You know what I mean?
And do you want any vehicles here of your own? The rebels have some electric, basically like dirt bikes, little motorcycles. That you could use. They also have one Gecko all-terrain armored, or not armored, excuse me, assault vehicle. It's like a dune buggy. That they will loan you these vehicles if you think you need vehicles here.
That might be a good alternative if they get past. But stopping them is ideal. I don't think the armored trucks would abandon the transport necessarily, so all we have to do is stop the transport. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
And you can, if you can knock out an armored car, that's now a roadblock. That if it's in front of the prison truck,
that's true.
The prison truck can't get past it unless it rams it.
Well, could we use Delamont's spikes to just take out the lead car so that it's immobile, and then we can just take out the armored cars and just leave the transport?
Absolutely. If you want to try that.
Just be ready for a backup plan if the spikes fail.
Yeah, you're not super confident in those spikes.
Right. Chief's got the rifle. My thinking of him being right here is he's probably got like the best, like most consistent view of the road.
Also, do we know, is the convoy coming in from up at the
Yeah, it's
the
going to
top
come in from
here?
up at the top and work its way down that winding path.
Oh, I didn't even think to ask. That's an amazing question.
Yeah, I had
That would've been
assumed the
so
opposite.
We're all facing the wrong way.
Oh,
Turn around, everybody.
Well, as a backup, if the spikes don't work, we could have somebody down the path with some of those dirt bikes. That way, we could at least chase the convoy if we have to.
the dirt bikes
Yeah.
wheeled vehicles, or
Yeah, so I can put a couple of dirt bikes, like if you want two of them, kind of back here behind that rock.
Chief probably could figure one of those out.
I can
Yeah.
put a dirt bike back here. Do you want that assault vehicle? It'd be like a
When you say-
four-wheeled vehicle.
Yeah, so it's just like a fairly heavy vehicle.
Yeah, put it over here. I mean, it's not heavy; it's open topped, but it would be fast.
It's got a gun.
Yeah, so
Right.
it does not have a gun on this world. Normally, it would have like a cannon on there. If you want to try to rig something up for a gun there, you can definitely do that.
Chief heard armored vehicle and his heart got excited, but then he thought about it. Oh, well, no, it's not gonna be a gun. Getting a gun on a vehicle would be good. He's a turret kind of guy, but I don't know that would ever be. I think the dirt bikes are probably the better option. Although, I mean, we catch up to them. How are we going to stop them on a dirt bike?
Although, worst case scenario, we could just have the spikes at the very start of the road, and then if that doesn't work, we could just use the vehicles as a second blockade.
Good idea.
Would they be happy with that plan? We're going to borrow your vehicle to set it up there on the. I'd
We
like
don't
that
have to
idea.
tell
actually.
them that's what the plan
Oh
is.
yes, I recommend not telling them if we decide to do this. Yes, that's actually quite a good plan, honestly.
So where do you want to put the all-terrain vehicle? In fact, I'm gonna make this token a little bit bigger here.
I would say probably further down because we don't want them to see it and then go, "Oh, gotta get out of here."
Yeah, if we want to have them further down, and then if the spikes don't take out the car that we need, then we can just drive these vehicles out on the road and make a blockade.
Could potentially like fake somebody being injured. Maybe somebody was driving it down and rolled over or something.
That usually works, but this is a prisoner transport. They might be a little merciless.
Maybe not to a noble doctor in high standing, though.
Precisely.
So you've got 12 soldiers with you that you can position on the map. Tell me where you would want them, and I can. I'm going to put half of them out here. We'll assume that there's 2 in each one. They're going to be kind of in the background, fighting anyway. But where would you want them, as far as to be putting down fire, to be, causing disturbances? Who was our Marine? Was that Ulysses?
No, that's not Ulysses.
Chief was a Marine for like 2 minutes, and then he got bombed.
Oh, that's right. So, where would you want to put this, cannon fodder, for lack of a better term?
I'm thinking most of them probably sort of like
Just
around
kind
the
of down
bend
around
down
these
here.
rocks. Okay.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 like behind some of these rocks over here as well, but
Okay.
And then do we still want Chief to... I mean, it's kind of a second backup plan. Chief could try and knock out the convoy or the prison truck with his Gauss rifle. Maybe try and shoot the engine or something.
good plan, although it could cause casualties with civilians, but it's worth a thought. There's going to be 2 armored trucks first, though, so...
Yeah, and I
not
guess
even
even
give
if
that up to me.
Yeah, if Chief knocks out one of those and just the lead one makes a blockade with that, just as a backup plan.
Now, Ellis, you're kind of out in the open. Is that where you want to be, or do you want to get behind a little cover?
Thought I was behind this rock right here.
Oh, yeah, maybe, yeah, right
Yeah.
there. That looks better there. Okay, so the how are you going to use the strips? Where do you want to position those? And do you position them, or do you want to, if you need to, you could. I mean, you've got people down here at the end. You could let me draw a line here. You could almost send someone running across the road with the strips and like drop them right there, like if they get too far. Or do you want to, drop the strips up at the top to try and block them in, or somewhere along the midpoint? And bearing in mind that even Sir Dalamond is not convinced that they will be 100% effective. Sir Dalamont, where do you want to put those? What's the plan for those?
Belmont's not the best at tactics, but he kind of thinks maybe putting them where everybody has line of sight if they're stopped would be best.
Well, why don't you give me a military tactics roll, and we'll see where you think the best spot might be. Not bad. You're pretty sure that this top spot up here is probably less good. This spot here in the middle is probably less good because you've got a lot of people that are going to be behind cover. But if you drop it down here, you can get more eyes on the vehicles, and there's a big open spot here where they would have no cover, and you would all be firing from cover. So you think if you can pin the first vehicle down here and block the convoy here in the open while you're all in cover, that might give you your best chance.
He'll put it right there, right next to him. He's already there in position. Look at that.
Perfect. Let me I'll just get rid of some of these lines here.
And if the strips fail, people can just start firing at them, at the wheels.
Okay, any other last plans, or is the plan that if they get that far, are you setting the strip there ahead of time, or just if you need it, you're going to run it across?
He's going to set it there ahead of time, so long as it does actually seem to blend in, as were his instructions.
So, give me a stealth roll to see how well you think it's going to blend in. Oh. Yeah. These guys, because you went back and had them revise it, and you put your trust in them, they worked through the night. And this it's a work of art. You almost hate to have something drive over it in case it scratches the paint. It looks absolutely perfectly camouflaged. It's got areas that look flattened, like it's flat here, but it's on a rocker, so when they first roll and engage it, it will spring up into the tires, and so there's nothing poking up that they might see. It's going to be a perfect trap. You're confident that as long as the mechanical portion works, they're not going to see this until it's too late.
Out it goes then.
Yep. Okay. Any last preparations before you want to undertake the mission? I've got 3 bikes. Do we want more dirt bikes here? And we have the all-terrain vehicle. Do you want to try and fit a weapon on there?
It can't hurt to try. Chief doesn't have anything else to do while we're preparing, so that might be what he spends his time doing. He's not a great engineer or mechanic or whatnot, but
you do have training in like gunnery And do you have training in heavy weaponry?
Check. I think so. He's definitely a turret guy.
Yeah, you do have heavy weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you know that this would probably be your most powerful weapon, and it sounds like if you could somehow rig up a Gauss rifle on this, it would do wonders. Now you've got all of the assets on the Aurora's Fortune and the Exton's Ridge. You have all these things to work with. You also did not use one of the Gauss pistols, so you could take some elements off of that. You're going to try to build a Gauss cannon for this gun. You only hope it doesn't blow up when you try to use it. But you've got the technology, and since you have some of the electromagnets, you can now try and replicate those on 3D printers. So that's going to take a roll. This is going to be an engineer roll, or you can give me a heavy weapons roll.
Because, hold on. Just double checking. Oh, okay, they're definitely not the same. He's way better at heavy weapons.
Yeah.
Well, not way better, but he's got a +1. I was going to say since they're the same heavy weapons, it would make more sense, but I would do engineer. That just kind of... it's good to know heavy weapons, but making a new one?
Yeah.
That's probably engineer. Education.
Oh, you nailed it. Wow. So you needed an 8 and you got an 8. Awesome. You've got a... who's going to drive that ATV? Anyone? Or are you going to have it for whoever's nearby? In fact, the only person over there would be Chief. You're closest unless you want to reposition that ATV.
Well, yeah, I don't think we'd probably leave it up there if it's got a gun on it. Maybe there's nowhere to hide it back here.
And that ATV would have a crew of 2. Someone drives it, and someone fires the gun. To drive is a drive wield skill, and to fire the gun is a heavy weapons vehicle skill.
Dalamont is able to drive it.
Oh, nice, because I was going to say he can drive, but he's better at turret.
And Dalamont doesn't have a gun, so he may be better off up there driving. So do you want to move the ATV down, or do you want to move Dalamont up by the ATV?
I would say, Chief would say, move it down. If it's got a gun on it, and this gun's effective against vehicles, it might be our best bet to just hit them when we can see them. They're not going to see them until they come around. Although, no rocks here, so...
So, sorry, I was on a menu. Where do you want to put the ATV?
Yeah, probably... But it does kind of change things. Probably actually just down here. Like,
Okay.
I feel, they're going to keep coming down this road. Maybe the spikes trap stops them. Either way, they've got a reckoning with this. Sorry, soldiers I brought over there and then abandoned.
So I'm going to put Sir Dalamont in there. You're going to be the driver. And who is going to operate the gun on that vehicle?
Presumably Chief, but...
Chief, okay. It could be anyone. I'm just getting it set up on the token here. It'll keep track of who's in what role.
If it's like a fitted weapon on there, what is the gun count as, anyways?
So it's gonna, you'll use your heavy weapon vehicle skill.
Vehicle. Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Yep, and it's going to be in fact, I'll put it on your character sheet what the weapon is. It's a Gauss cannon. Let me drop.
He's as good with
weapon.
the heavy turret as he is with as he would have been with the rifle. So
let me see if I can equip that. Yeah, so you've got the Gauss cannon. It does more damage than your Gauss rifle. It's got better range. It's got armor penetrating as well. AP5, and you can fire auto. So anything that has auto, you can do a single shot, and it does the listed damage. You can do a burst where you fire a number of shots equal to the auto rating, and then you add the auto rating to it, or you can do a full auto where you make 3 attack rolls and it uses triple the number of ammunition. Ammunition won't be a huge issue here, but it's more, do you want to do a burst or a single shot or full auto and just spray and pray? Any other last bits of business?
Do we know how we're actually going to get into the prison
No.
vehicle?
So it's probably locked, so you may want a means to get in there. Now, in most worlds, you might say a cutting torch, but that's not this world. So you probably need to hack into the controls to get that open. So you don't want to fry the electrical systems on the prison truck, or you may not be able to get in there without setting it on fire.
Okay. So we could
Our
have
hackers
someone...
are in the bus.
Yeah, the hackers are in the bus.
All right.
Okay.
Any last questions? Feel confident? Why don't we take a short break, and when we get back to it, we will start the convoy. Let's take about a 7 or 8 minute break, grab some water, use whatever facilities you might need, and I'll see you all in about 7 or 8 minutes.
The deeper I wonder. charged through the open gate. The flame of the dragon tried to seal my awful fate with a handful of dice. 5 times I rolled 20. The dragon goes down. The DM plenty. I leave with the princess, a satchel chock full of gold. We head to the tavern where my mighty tale unfolds. Crafted from numbers on living paper. I skip from the mundane to a naval caper. While in real life, my fate is unspoken. Hero roll of the dice and my fate is unspoken. The king honored me with the mighty crossbow. It's blessed by the elves, he said. I thank him and I go. The life of a hero, struggling to stay alive. It's worth all the hardship though, 'cause now I'm a level 5. Level 5.
All right, I am back. Are we all here?
Hello.
Hello, there's
Yep.
Luke. There's Hunter. And Miss Pick she's sitting next to me, so I know she's here. And Henrik.
Yep, I'm back.
Perfect. And Henrik, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
Perfect. All right. Any last minute stuff before we jump in? Was anyone taking grenades? Or did we decide those were too dangerous? Sounds like too dangerous. Probably for the
Yeah.
best.
Explosive -2 is tough.
Right? Now, if you're just throwing grenades, it's an athletics dexterity roll. But if you're setting charges, then that would be an explosives roll.
Well, Chief would be pretty good at that then. That might be a good last resort. We're gonna get in a car accident and then they're gonna go off. I just know
Right.
it, but Chief would bring one for good luck.
Perfect. Let me throw a grenade on your character sheet. Anyone else want a grenade?
I'll get rid of that thing I just put. No, never mind.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So only Chief with a grenade? All right. Anything else that anyone can think of?
I think Ulysses is ready to wait for the convoy.
Do we want some type of like armor to protect ourselves or something?
Yeah, so everyone should have something, maybe a vac suit, at least, which offers you some protection. Um, you've already called upon Lady Ada quite a bit, but she has a few suits of combat armor she would be willing to loan, not give, but to loan if anyone wants those. A vac suit gives you plus 10 armor. This would give you plus 17 armor. So it's significantly more armor protection. It also, if you. It has like a combat reticle in it. So all weapons while using combat armor count as though they have the scope trait, and what that lets you do is let you take shots at greater than 100 meters without having any penalties on that. I don't think we're going to have anything over 100 meters, but the protection might be invaluable. Let me roll to see how many suits she has. She has 5 suits. Oh, and there's 5 of you. Do you all want combat armor?
I'll
Yeah,
take
Chief
some
would take
armor.
one.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take one.
perfect. Let me throw these on your sheets here. So I'll put these on your sheets, and then you can go to equipment, and it will show up as items owned. There's a little icon that looks like a little T-shirt. You click on that, and that will equip your armor. So let me dump that on all of you. So let me give Chief some combat armor. Ellis, you've got some armor on. Justin, you've got combat armor. Sir Dalamont, let's get you some armor.
Wow, it is almost like his Marine days.
Let's see. Oh, whoops, I already gave Dalamont armor. Take that off. There we go. Ellis, I don't think I gave you armor. I give you combat armor. And Ulysses. Does everyone have the combat armor on their sheets?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yep.
Just make sure you equip it so that you get the bonus from it. Perfect.
And Dalmont would just make sure that there are some like medical supplies, general first aid equipment.
Perfect. In fact, I think both
available.
Justin and Dalamont have a med kit. And
Yep.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So the comms are crackling with encrypted data. If someone wants to make a electronics comms roll, you can try to decode this. This is coming from the Federate. This is a very difficult task. You need to beat a 12 on electronics
Ooh.
comms.
Whoa.
Anyone want to take
Uh,
it?
Dalmont knows a little. He's not an expert. Does anybody know more?
Chief
Nope.
knows very well.
I got a 0.
Yeah, it's the same.
I think comms is going to use your education. Who's got the better education roll?
I'm a doctor.
I think you have a +2 on your education.
Whoa, that's gotta be good. Plus
So-
2.
So yeah, you might be the best to try this comms roll.
And it was a 10?
You need to beat a 12.
Oh, 12. Yikes.
Oh no! So you hack into some of the comms, and you mostly hear that it sounds like the convoy is going. They've taken the bait. They're going to go on this path, but you weren't able to get any information about the makeup of the convoy or kind of what to expect. But it sounds like they're coming this way. They'll be here in just a few minutes, and soon you see clouds of dust over the horizon. And then coming into view, you see the first armored car, followed by this massive prison truck, a second armored car, and a maintenance vehicle in case they break down. Now these armored cars, you see they have basically a ballista on them, and you see now what they're armed with. It is a type of modified arrow. It has an RPG warhead attached to the end of the arrow, so it's like firing an RPG. That could be bad news. So you don't want them to hit you with that. I'm going to have one of you give me a stealth roll. This is for the party. Whoever wants to make this can make it. Excuse me. You only need to beat a 6 because you've spent time preparing the battlefield. Who wants to make that stealth roll?
I can do it. I got a +1.
Excellent. Just need to beat a 6.
Okay, here we go.
Nice.
And you got a 7. Hang on. No, you got a. Why did that give you a -2? Let me look. That shouldn't have given you that -2. Let me get rid of that.
Oh, is it because I'm wearing a suit?
Oh yeah. So let me just uncarry your vac suit. That's probably why. Let me put that into items owned. There we go. That would have. So you did pass, but it gave you a -2.
Okay.
Because it just showed that you had too much gear in your hands, but you didn't. So that's a pass. So you are going to have basically an ambush attempt on them. So you're all going to get to go before they have a chance to react. Now, the way that initiative works in this game, let me just select tokens, is you make a roll, and it is you can use your dexterity or your intellect. Are you fast or are you smart about how you do this? I'm just going to add some people to the combat tracker. Give me just a moment to get everybody on here. One last one. Okay, so I'm going to have all of you, if you go to the combat tracker, it's on the toolbar on the upper right, you're going to see 2 crossed swords. You can click on the die and it will roll your initiative. It rolls 2 6-sided die and then adds either your dexterity or your intellect, whichever is higher. For this first round, you'll all essentially get to go first. Perfect. And then it's going to be, after the first round, it'll be the armored car, and then Ulysses, the other armored car, the ATV, Justin, Chief, Sir Dalamont, and Ellis bringing up the rear. So as they come into view, Sir Dalamont, give me a recon roll. So you see them come into view, and you notice that they seem to be on edge, almost like they're anticipating an attack. You begin to wonder if perhaps you have not been lured into a trap, that perhaps they're very well aware of where you are. But that fear passes in a moment as you see them get to within range and open sight. So, Ulysses, you can go first. What do you do?
Well, I think I will wait for them. I think the plan is we wait for them to run over the the spike strips.
Okay.
Then-
So is everyone gonna hold until that happens?
Yeah.
Spencer probably should get on the gun, but other than that, yeah, he's not. In fact, he probably already is. I just put him over here.
Yeah, and Dalmont would be in the driver's seat as well there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just have him in my sights the whole time they come down this road.
Perfect. So you
Yeah,
can
could I
actually
spend
use
turn
your
aiming?
time aiming if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So if you are all doing that, your next attack you'll get a +3 on that attack, but that's going to be in the next round. So just keep track of that. The vehicles continue down along the path. Let me move them down. Until they, and then in the second round you're aiming again, so you can all have a +6 at this point on your first shot, and the vehicles come down right where you want them. Now at this point, this vehicle is going to run over those strips, and you had camouflaged them perfectly. And as it hits the strips, let me have Sir Dalamont. You're going to give me a roll. Roll 2 6-sided die. You can do this by going down into the chat bar, and you can type. You don't have to type the word type, but do /r space 2d6, and then it will roll 2 6-sided die for me. Excellent. 6, 7, 8. Nice. So that is going to take 4 damage, which is going to be a critical, and I'm going to have this be to the drive system since that's what we're targeting. So all checks to control this vehicle they'll have a penalty of -1 on that, as you've punctured. It's got 6 tires. The first 2 sets of tires get punctured and they slam on their brakes. And we don't need this flute music. Let's get some sci-fi combat music going here. There we go. So this vehicle immediately halts. At that point, Ulysses, you've been aiming for 2 rounds. You've got a +6 modifier. Do you take a shot? The vehicle has stopped. You can see on the turret swiveling around the ballista, and someone is looking down and there's pointing down at the ground, and you can see these soldiers in these vehicles.
Well, I'm pretty confident that this lead car is not the one with the prisoners we're after. So could I try and hit that ballista?
Yeah. So in fact, one of the soldiers gets out to go and assess the damage here. So if you want to take that shot and you're targeting the ballista, that's going to make it 1 level more difficult. So you're going to have to beat a 10, but you get a +6 plus your other bonuses if you want to hit that ballista. And you do. So you beat a 10. Your effect bonus is +3. So for combat, rather than just rolling your skill, if you click on your weapon, then it will also roll your damage. But in this case, we'll go ahead and roll that. So that was with your laser pistol? Okay.
Yes.
At the ballista. So that does 3d6 damage. Let me type the damage. And we're going to add the effect. We're going to add 3 to that. So that does 15 total points of damage. Now, one thing in Traveler, we're going to just talk a little bit about the rules here. When you are attacking a vehicle with a light weapon, and that's considered a light weapon, anything that does less than 4d6 damage, they're not well suited to destroying vehicles, and so the effects are greatly weakened. Against any weapon that has that 4d or less damage, then the vehicle gets additional armor equal to its tech rating. So this armored car effectively has an armor value of 13. But you got a 15, and so you did 2 points of damage to the armored car. So let me mark the damage. Now, the way that damage works in this game with vehicles is they suffer critical hits. So if you get an effect of 6 or higher, which you did not, then you would score a critical effect. Also, if you roll, if it takes at least 10% of its damage, which in the case of this armored car would be 2 points of damage, then you consult the critical hits location table. So you did 2 points of damage through the armor. That's going to be a critical hit. So roll a 2d6 for me. So a lot of this math I'm doing for you, but I'm going to give you a peek behind the curtains about how this works against vehicles. So roll a 2d6, please. Thank you. 8 is... Okay, now let's see. You were targeting the weapon. Okay, so the first severity on this weapon is that the weapon suffers a DM -2. So to use this weapon is DM -2 as it sustains damage. One more hit to that weapon will disable it. Another critical hit beyond that will destroy the weapon. If you get one more critical on the weapon after that, then the weapon will explode and it will deal damage to the ship's or to the car's hull. So you've inflicted some damage to the weapon, but you're using a laser gun, right?
Yes.
Okay, that starts a fire. So normally a fire does 1d3 points of damage. With the high oxygen, it's tripled. So that's 3d3 points of damage. So if you would roll that, please. And if that gets through the armor, that's another critical. So that is not enough to get through the armor, but the gun is on fire. And so there's flames pouring over the top of the armored car, and this soldier begins to run, and he runs back towards that vehicle. The other armored car, seeing where your shot came from, over here behind this hill, he's going to fire a shot from the ballista at you. And I've got, let's see, I have a marker here. So this is the blast radius of this. It's going to hit here. Well, it's not going to hit the vehicle. It's going to hit the top of that, which is going to just have a chance of hitting you, but you do have some protection here. He gets a -2 because you've got some partial cover. But I'm going to give him a roll here against you. Now you have an option. You can take a reaction here. You can try to dodge to give him another penalty. That will give you a penalty on your next attack roll, or you can just dive for full cover and give him a greater penalty, but then you'll forego your action next round. Do you want to try
Yeah, I will dive for cover. That sounds like a good idea.
Okay, so he's going to have a -4. That means you get no action next round, but you're going to dive for cover?
Yes.
Okay. And he gets a failure on that, an exceptional failure. And so the shot actually just kisses the top of the rocks there and bounds off, landing back here before it detonates in a huge fireball. And you can feel the heat, both Ulysses and Ellis and Chief, you can feel the heat coming off of that blast as flames pour up that mountainside there. This vehicle at the end, they immediately go into reverse, and you can see them backing, oops, wrong thing there. They immediately kick it into reverse, and they start to back out the way they came. Justin, you're up next.
I guess I could try to finish taking out the weapon on this first vehicle here.
Yeah. You'll get a +6 to this shot because you've spent 2 rounds aiming. So on your character sheet, if you click on your weapon on your sheet, do the attack button with your laser carbine. Now yours does more than 4d points of damage, so it doesn't have that greater armor. So you're gonna hit it hard. Perfect. So you did 8 points of damage. This car effectively has 6 points of armor, so it takes 2, which that's going to be another critical, and you were targeting the weapon. Oops. There we go. Targeting the weapon. That's going to push it on the next severity, so that's going to disable the weapon. So they cannot fire that weapon until they repair it.
Sweet. Awesome.
That's also going to start a fire. And so roll 3d6 to see how much fire damage gets through there. Oh, that got through the armor. That takes an additional 1 point of damage from that.
Sweet.
Excellent. Chief, you're up.
Ooh, okay. What do we? Is there like an initiative swapping thing? What do we think about moving up a little? Because if this weapon's disabled, I might want to go after the other one. Or
So you can
disable
move. You
the
can use a minor action to basically move 3 squares. Unless you're in a vehicle, then you can move significantly more.
yeah, it's just I'm not driving.
Yeah, Sir Dalamont is next. You could just swap, and you guys technically have the same initiative. So if you want Sir Dalamont to start driving, you can.
Well, it's up to him. Chief might suggest it. What do you think? We might want to get that other gun. That sounded bad. That was pretty close.
Yeah, Dalamont will step on the gas.
Now,
And
to get line of sight on that guy, you're probably going to have to come down to like here. The good news is that this guy doesn't have a gun anymore. It's disabled. And so the only vehicle with a gun is this one. You do have one enemy soldier on the ground here, and you may soon start seeing more pour out of there.
Right.
So-
That's the thing.
Yeah, being
don't
on-
wanna get down. They have guns. The people in the car have guns.
Yep. Yep.
being on the all-terrain vehicle, Dalamont kind of wants to take it out and kind of maybe go across the road and then up and kind of around on the other side behind the rocks and stuff to kind of offer some cover occasionally.
Like up into, like over here.
Yeah, maybe not necessarily that high, but let me. It's not letting me do the target thing, but kind of around here. Can you see this square?
Yes. Yep.
That was me. I was the one who just did that. I didn't see it.
Oh, right.
My blind.
Yeah, kind
Right
of.
there.
Yeah, kind of looping around up there.
So that's going to be a drive roll, and this vehicle, each vehicle has an agility rating if it gives you a plus or minus. This one's a 0, so it's a straight drive roll, and you're going to need to beat an 8. You don't want to drive over your little tire rippers here, so you're going to be a little cautious about that. But there is a path you can drive up around that hill, and then you'll have a straight line of sight both to the prison truck as well as to the other vehicle.
Oh.
Okay. You hit the tire ripper. So you gun it, and it's so well hidden, rolling a snake eyes. You come and you just clip the corner of it, and you start to lose control of the vehicle as one of the tires punctures, and it skids and slides out. That's going to give Chief, you're going to have a -3 on your shot. But you can still take that shot as you're bouncing around.
Alrighty. Oh dear. Well, at least you've got the driver's side facing away from them. That was a good turn of fortune. Oh, I see what you're saying about the fire modes. This is different. Well, if I've got a -3. This is short range, I'm assuming.
Yeah, this would be short range, so you get a plus for that. So
See,
full auto.
spray and pray.
So 2 misses and a hit. So you end up eating up a lot of ammunition. But it doesn't matter, because you got a hit. In fact, you did 20 points of damage, and it has armor piercing 5. So it gets through the first 5 points of armor. This weapon does more than 46, so this is a vehicle weapon. You're going to deal 20 points of damage to this car. That's the car you're shooting?
Yeah. I don't know how good of a view he has. He's got a clear shot, but he'd probably be trying to get the weapon, but it looks like it's on the other side.
So what's actually going to happen is you're going to absolutely just destroy this vehicle. They have 18
Nice.
hull points, basically 18 hit points. He's going to take, let's see, 25. He takes 19 points of damage. So that's enough to destroy it. So how do you absolutely just obliterate that armored car? You guys are going to cakewalk this. Holy cow.
Man. Yeah, well, it's bouncing around quite heavily. And Chief's on the back of this thing. He's wearing combat armor. He is back in his Marine days like 100%. He is just holding down that trigger, not even like really looking. And it just misses most of its shots. But, well, it is a plasma or Gauss cannon.
So yeah, you throw out a spray and you see these hypervelocity rounds just streaks through the air, and when they hit, there's this incredibly loud punch, and it's not just like we found with the turret. It's the spall. It's the internal damage as shreds and pieces of shrapnel just rip through that armored car, and you hear screams and smoke is pouring out of there. You've taken out hydraulics, you've taken out electronics, you've taken out power. That thing is just absolutely smoking. And once it starts to smoke, you know that there's a fire in there. And then it just lights up and flame pours out of the turrets. And the top opens up, the top hatch, and a man just covered in flames begins to crawl out and rolls onto the ground before he expires. And his whole body is just engulfed in flames as you hit something in there, probably the battery that just ignited and set this entire car off. And so that car is absolutely wrecked. Ellis, you're up next.
Okay. Was there anyone else getting out of the first car?
Not yet. There's only one person out of there right now. And you can see him on the ground. He's right there.
Okay. I'm gonna try to take him out, I guess.
Okay. Let me see if I can flip this. Let's see. So we know that he is upside down. Which one's up there? No. Which one's upside down? There we go. He's upside down. He's dead. All right. So you're gonna try and take that guy out.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to target him, you click on him and push T. That will target him. Perfect. And then click on your weapon, and this is with your Gauss pistol.
Yes.
Perfect.
And do I
And
get
you get a +6.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, nice. So your effect is 6 or higher. That's a critical. So anytime your effect is at least 6, even if he has armor, it penetrates that armor. Your Gauss pistol has armor penetrating 3. He has combat armor on. That'll get through the first 3 points. He takes 15 beyond that. The armor blocks 10. He takes 5 points of damage as that round punches into him. So let me, actually I think I can drag and drop that on here. Yeah, perfect. And he actually hits the ground clutching his shoulder where that round passed cleanly through his shoulder. Let me add him to the combat tracker. Perfect. Let me roll, and then we'll go to the next round. All right. Next round. That soldier gets to go first. Now, he can't, I mean, he knows where that shot came from, but he can see Chief and Sir Dalamont in that vehicle, and he's going to unload a spray at Chief, who's operating the gun. And he lets loose a full auto burst.
I respect the hell out of it.
From his little air submachine gun. And that is range. Oh, and he gets a miss. Dang. Yeah, because he unloads on you, and rounds are just not sparking, but impacting onto the vehicle, and somehow they're narrowly missing you, and you maintain your focus on that. Next is this armored car. They're going to offload a couple of soldiers. me add them to the initiative. And then the last one inside is going to start repairing that gun. So let me give him an attack roll. Let's see. So this will be, so to repair the weapon, he's going to do a gun combat roll, but it's not to fire. So that would be a dex. To repair, it's going to be intellect.
Oh.
And yes, so he gets the weapon back online. They can't fire it this round, but next round they can sure as hell fire that weapon. Ulysses, you're up next. Actually, you lose your turn. Yep, you dove for cover.
Yeah.
So you
I'm checking myself for injuries. Yeah.
You can feel the heat coming
Making
from that
sure that
flame behind you, but you seem to be safe for now. And Ellis probably looks down at you like, "You all right, boss?" And you dust yourself off and get up ready to renew the fight. This soldier here is going to he's going to fire at Chief as well. Now, Chief, you can try to dodge if you want. That'll impose a -1 on his attack. You'll also get a -1 on your next action, or you can just stand there and take the hit, or you can dive for cover. You can dive behind the vehicle. You'll leave your position on the gun, but you'll dive for safety.
No, Chief will stay on the gun.
Nice. Famous last words.
Yeah, combat is devastating in this game.
Ooh, that is a hit. So that hits you for 13 points of damage, but your armor is going to block all of that. So because you're wearing the combat armor, you have 18 points of armor protection, and you'll take none of that. But you do feel the rounds as they impact your armor. It's almost like getting shot with a Kevlar vest. And it's going to leave a bruise, but it didn't get through enough to cause you any harm. The prison truck begins to frantically try... Oops, sorry, Chief, didn't mean to move you there. Begins to frantically try to move. It's trying to get past this smoldering wreck of a vehicle, but all it can do is pull up and try to back up. And so it's going to spend its turn maneuvering, trying to make a 3-point turn. The maintenance vehicle begins to accelerate over the hill. And from here, Justin, give me a recon roll.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. You see it's accelerating. They're getting the hell out of here. They want nothing to do with this. Justin, it's your turn.
Hey, I guess should try to take out the gun on this one here.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you're aiming for the gun, that's going to make the difficulty a little bit more. Give yourself a -2 modifier on that.
-2. Okay.
And you can aim for your minor action will give you a +1, so you'll just have a net -1.
Okay, let's do that then. -1.
Nice. And oh, sorry, that's a miss. I was going to say that's almost nice, but yeah, that is a miss. I just saw it said damage.
Oh, okay.
So your shot streaks past and actually ignites a little patch of rock over here. Flames begin to pour over the rock. There's nothing there to burn other than the atmosphere, and a plume of smoke rises up as the oxygen ignites there. Chief, you're still on the gun.
He is, and he's still laying down fire on the vehicles, the nearest armored truck now.
Okay, perfect.
All he knows is people got out. It's logical to assume there's still people in there trying to fix it.
Yeah, they're fixing the ballista. In fact, you can see them reloading the ballista and turning it towards your little ATV as we speak.
Can he still aim with the minor action? Does that work?
Yep,
the same
that'll
on a
still
gun,
work.
or-
So you'll still get a +1. Oh.
Oh,
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay. So you do 49, 59, 67 points of damage. Tell me how you take out that car.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, yes, oh dear. You'd notice getting shot, but he's really like this is more glorious than anything he's ever done. He is just almost insensate, just
And you
holding
fired like
down
a
the trigger,
giant defense
spraying these
turret at
vehicles.
someone's head. And so this is even greater than that. So you hit it with basically 9 rounds.
He's done some cool things, but yeah.
So 9 rounds punch through this, and does it ignite on fire? Does this one burn?
Ooh, probably it's probably likely to. Look how close we are. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's getting through the armor easily.
It begins to melt as the sparks fly from those high velocity rounds. I mean, they're hitting this, doing, Mach 2 or Mach 3 as these rounds just punch right through there, and the smoke just pours out of this thing again as flames just bruise up, flames pouring out of the vents. No one gets out. The only one in there was the guy on the gun, and he is just roasted to a crisp, if he wasn't already mutilated by the shrapnel inside. Sir Dalamont, you've got a flat tire. You're kind of out in the open, but your gunner has taken out the vehicles. You've still got the prison truck and then the maintenance people getting away. You've got 3 senless soldiers on the ground.
Yeah, Dalmont was kind of looking towards the battlefield. He was kind of looking to see if people were aiming at him so that he could duck out of the way. But either way, he noticed that the prison truck's trying to make a break for it. It's kind of doing the 3-point turn.
Yeah.
So he's just going to communicate to everybody else over radio. Hey, the prison truck's trying to make an escape. Make sure we disable it without hurting the prisoners inside.
Give me a leadership roll, and your effect is going to be the bonuses that you can hand out to people on their next turn. So your effect is 1, so you can give someone a +1 on their next action if it's against that prison truck. Who do you want to give that to? Now, Ellis has not acted this turn, but you can give it to someone for next round as well.
I could try to shoot against the prison.
Yeah, he'll give that.
We probably don't want Chief shooting.
He'll give it to Ellis. Definitely not
No.
Chief. That would kind of obliterate the truck. He'll give it to Ellis.
Okay.
See what he can do.
Ellis, what's your plan?
Could I maybe try to take out some of the tires?
Yeah, you can try and take out a tire. So that's a called shot. So I'm going to give you a -2 modifier. You can spend your minor action to aim. So that'll be a +1. So a net -1 to try and hit the tires. It's got plenty of tires. And it's a big target. So you actually get a +1 anyway for hitting a big target. Okay. So in fact, let me make sure it's not a +2. I made a note here. So when you shoot a large vehicle, they're easier to hit than a ducking traveler. Attack rolls, you'll get a +1 plus an additional +1 for every 10 tons of their shipping score. The prison truck gives you a +2. So that counteracts your -2, so it's a straight roll.
All right. And then do I get the
And then the +1 for aiming. Yep,
Okay.
correct.
Do I need to target the truck or anything?
You don't have to. We'll do the
Okay.
math ourselves.
Cool.
Unless it tells you that you need to target.
Oh,
Ugh.
I missed.
And a miss. So it's tough aiming. I mean, it's like shooting the broadside of a barn, but you're aiming for a small piece of that barn, and you hit the truck itself and not the tire. So the round passes through part of the undercarriage of that truck. It doesn't pass through where you hope there's prisoners, but it passes through the body of that truck. Let's go to the next round. The Senless Soldiers. So This guy up here, and meanwhile these other rebels, they're giving you covering fire. They're firing arrows. There's arrows flying around. He's going to take a shot at this rebel soldier up here. And he's going to move up and take a little bit of cover behind this rock and then take a shot at that guy right there. And that guy's got a little cover. He's going to give a -1. And he hits him for 15 points of damage. Let me pull that guy up. Okay, that's a pretty good wound. He clutches his leg as he lays behind that. And you can see the bright splash of red blood as that soldier draws blood on him. This one here, he's going after Chief. And he's going to draw a bead on Chief. And give him the range. And misses. Boy, Chief, you're standing there taking it, and they can't touch you. Ulysses, you're up next.
Well, I'm going to try and maybe hit one of the tires on the prison truck.
Okay.
One of the front tires. Yeah, preferably near the front of the truck.
So you get a -2, but then you get a +2 because it's so big. So that'll cancel out, but if you do aim, you'll get a +1. Nice. That's a hit. Your weapon does not do additional. It doesn't do. It's not a large weapon. Doesn't do 4D. So the prison truck effectively has an effective armor of 9. So you do 11. So it takes 2. But it's not enough to force a critical. He has a lot more hull points. And so
And I'm also hoping that sets the tire on fire. It is a laser
so
weapon.
it's going to cause fire, and this is where you could cause additional damage. So roll 3d6. Nice. So that does do 2 additional points of damage through that armor. So he's taken a total of 4 hits, but again, he needed to take a total of 8 for that to cause a critical. But he does take some damage, and it's gonna you see flames kind of licking up the rubber of that tire as he's trying to get this turned around to head out of here. This Senless soldier is going to attack Chief again. You're the man on the gun. They're going after you. Attack here, and that's a hit. And so, but you only take 5, and you've got that new fancy combat armor, which I believe will block every bit of that, because this is not an armor-piercing weapon. Yeah, you take no damage. Again, rounds strike you in the armored portions. You probably feel a round hit your right thigh, and your leg buckles for a moment, but you stand your ground. The prison truck, with its tire on fire, move Chief again, begins to drive past that flaming car. You see it ram the car, and flames begin to pour up the front of that prison truck as it gets up to about here, driving past that wreckage. It's going to take some additional damage. Oops, I did 3d5. Sorry. 3d6 is what I'm after. Oh, even better. Takes a point of damage from that. Nice. This ATV gets up to the top, and you see it beginning to crest over the hill as it's heading back where it came from. Justin, you're up.
I suppose I should take a shot at the wheels of this truck.
You got it. So you'll end up with a net +1 to hit that.
+1, okay. Laser carbine. +1. Ugh, miss.
That is a
Dang.
miss. That would have been awesome. Damn, that probably would have forced a critical had you hit that. Chief,
Yeah.
you still got the gun. Do you want to go for the tires? If you don't hit the tires, you're gonna hit the truck, and it could be ugly.
Yeah. I was gonna ask if we're at the point where we want me to try to shoot the tires, but yeah, I don't know. It would be pretty bad,
Could
and
Chief,
it's facing away from us now. So I like to think we'll just, if we hit them, we're hitting them like where the prisoners would be. But
Yeah. If Chief
Sorry, what's
hit
that?
like the rocks, could that like create a rock fall in front of it? Maybe it's just an idea.
If he does enough damage, let's see the rocks. Let me see how much cover they have, how much damage he would have to do. I had this written down, and of course I don't have it here. Here it is. You'd have to do at least 10 points of damage to the rocks to get them to try and fall. And there's this little tower of rocks here you could try and hit that may fall and block that, or at least slow it down if you want to aim for that. Or you can go for the truck.
yeah,
What you
that's
can
a good
also,
suggestion.
if you're doing full auto, well, if you're doing full auto, you could spray that. You'll have very little control, but you could try and hit the rocks and the truck. What do you think? Are you there? Did I lose you?
Oh. It just went green again. Yeah, the thing disconnected. Hello.
Oh, there I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, there
Maybe
must be
it's
something with Discord because I'm getting like poor connections off and on.
Yeah, okay. Well, glad I'm not alone.
So do you wanna shoot the rock, shoot the truck?
I mean, if it gets way like next turn, it's gonna be up. That's
Then you guys are
Pretty
on
bad.
motorcycles trying to chase it down.
yeah, and it beats us on initiative. So I'm tempted to
But
shoot
you
the
guys
tires.
will be
We could try
faster
the rock
on
thing.
motorcycles than it will be.
That's true. Yeah, and that's why we brought them. So he'll try to hit the terrain.
Okay. You'll get a +1, and you only have to beat a 6 because it's not a moving target.
Okay. I just want to full auto this thing constantly.
It's
I can't
fun,
stop.
you know. How often do you get to do this?
Yeah, it's got a lot of rounds.
So 2 of them hit. Okay, and so you do a total of 32 points of damage, or 36 points of damage. Yeah, you cause a huge cluster of rocks to fall, and they land right here, and they will obstruct that vehicle. It's going to have to try to. It's between a rock and a hard place. So between those rocks and that smoldering armored car, it's kind of pinned in there. It's going to have to do another 3-point turn, try and really back up and go over some rough terrain, and that's not going to be easy while it's taking fire. So you have definitely slowed it down, Sir Dalamont.
Dalmat's gonna see, is the ATV completely inoperable? He's gonna try and like gas it up a little bit. Does it move at all?
It does. Yeah, it'll move. You just have a flat tire. You're gonna have a -2 to any of your driving rolls. They kind of have like run flats sort of thing. It's gonna pull to the side, but you'll be able to at least try to control it if you want to drive.
Oh, but the sinless soldiers are still there. Um,
Yeah, you gonna run him over?
yeah, that might be the plan, honestly. He's gonna try and loop around towards the Sinless Soldier over there. Really just trying to get closer to that prison truck.
Yeah, give me a drive
But
wheeled auto.
yeah, with the Sinless Soldier in the way, if he needs to, he's willing to run down.
Perfect. So you struggle. You get the vehicle to move. Your heist centered on some rocks. You come up to get a little momentum, and as you come barreling down, you're not able to get on target. Do you want to stop near this guy? Like you probably just shoot past him, maybe like over to here, or do you want to just continue on towards the prison truck? But you're not going to be in a position to ram him.
He'll keep going towards the prison truck. He doesn't want to stop right on top of the enemy that got shot off.
Perfect. So you end up right about there by the end of your movement. Ellis, you're up next.
Am I still in range to hit the prison truck from my position, or is it too far away?
No, you'd still be in range.
Okay. I'll try to take out another one of the tires, I guess.
Okay. So you're going to get a net +1 on that. Excellent. So that's a hit, and you do armor piercing on that. So let me pull this up. So that's let's see, 17 damage -3, and this guy has an effective armor of 9. So you're gonna deal. Okay, so you're gonna deal 8 points of damage, which is exactly what you need to force a critical hit. So you need to do at least 8 points to get a hit. So let me give him first the 8 points. And now the critical hit, you were going for a wheel.
Yes.
So for the drive system, so that's the first critical on there. All checks to control the vehicle suffer a -1 modifier. So it's going to be more difficult for them to move this. You've actually shot out one of the wheels.
Awesome.
And so it's going to be harder for them to make that maneuver to get past there where they need to go. So well done. This Senless soldier, he's going after... Actually, as you drive past him and try and run him down, he's going to take a shot right at Sir Dalamont. And as you come by, he levels his weapon, takes aim, leads you slightly, and then puts a round right towards your skull. Ooh, and that's a hit. You do have combat armor, though, which is going to block... Yes, it's going to block all of that. But the rounds actually careen off of your helmet.
Really nice.
Yeah, it careens off of your helmet, and your head bangs to the side as you realize, did you not have that gift from Lady Ada, it could have been very bad indeed. This guy is going to shoot at Chief as Chief wheels past him. He throws a round directly at Chief. And let's roll. And that's a weird. That has a hit in.
But it's orange.
But it's
Why?
orange, yeah. But that is a hit. But that's not enough to get through your armor. So you're
That's
okay
weird.
there. Ulysses, you're up next.
Starting towards the truck.
Okay. So you can move
I can-
three squares would be a minor movement, and then if you need to do it more, then you could sacrifice your main action to move more. But from there, you've got a good shot at that truck. Or do you want to get on a motorcycle?
Could I see like one of the? Not yet. I think could I see maybe one of the drivers through the window?
Yeah, and they look terrified. There's only one driver, and you can see him. You can't hear what he's saying, but he's clearly screaming into a comm, probably trying to call for backup. But you guys have planned this to where you don't think that those comms are going to work. That's probably why he's screaming, trying to get backup, and there's no response.
If I could try and hit him through the window, just to take him out so they can't get away.
Yeah, that would be
Beautiful.
another called shot. So a -2, you get a +2. You can't aim because you moved, so it's going to be a straight roll. Nice, and that's a hit. He is not wearing combat armor. He's going to take damage. 1d.
And it is a laser pistol, so it might set him on fire.
Yep, so then roll 3d6. If you get a 9, bad things happen to him. No, thank goodness. So, there is a fire in the front of the vehicle, and he actually stops driving because he's trying to put the fire out. And you see him reach for an extinguisher, trying to extinguish it. He's patting at flames, and the vehicle is stalled right there. This scentless soldier is going to fire at Chief. See how long Chief's luck can hold out.
Oh,
Another hit, but it does not get through your armor. They're rolling
that
such
is going to
low
start hurting.
damage.
His whole body is going to be sore.
Oh yeah,
Poor guy.
You're taking a beating, but you're still alive. The prison truck, he's going to spend time trying to get the flames out. This vehicle disappears over the top of the horizon and heads down slope quickly. And you can see dust rising up behind him. Ulysses, give me a recon roll as you see him crest over the top of the hill.
Sorry, what was that roll you cut out?
Recon.
For me? Recon.
Okay. Perfect. Chief, sorry, Justin, you're up, and then Chief.
Okay. Which was the one that was kept? Which Senalish soldier was the one shooting at Chief? Was it the one with the yellow dot here?
Yeah. So that one there was shooting at Chief, and no, that one shot at
That one
Alamont.
shot at
Yeah,
Alamont.
these two
Yeah.
over here are shooting at Chief.
All right, I'm gonna take out one of these guys over here just to get him to stop.
Nice.
I'll shoot at this guy here
Got it.
with my laser carbine. Let's see here. And I'm gonna aim at him.
Perfect. Give yourself a +1.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, nice. 21 points of
Oh.
damage.
Okay.
Let me drag that on him. He does have some armor, but he takes a pretty serious hit. One more hit like that, he'll be unconscious.
Hey, does he go on fire?
Oh, yeah. Fire. Sorry, laser. Roll 3d6. Ooh. 11. His armor blocks most of the heat of the flames, but you can smell burning hair as the heat is getting through his suit. Now, Chief, you're up.
Yeah, seeing the truck looks momentarily disabled, I think Chief will swivel the gun around and shoot the fellow who's shooting at his driver.
Nice.
With a bit more control now.
Excellent. That's just gonna... that guy goes unconscious. So let me move him sideways. Oh, that's a rebel soldier.
Oh no, I've hit my friend.
Let's get this guy back in the fight, and we'll knock this guy unconscious. There we go. Perfect. And Sir Dalamont, you're up next.
Dalamont's just gonna go on the radio again and mention, "Hey, the prisoner truck. Don't let it get away. It's still able to maneuver around the rocks in the way."
Nice. Give me that leadership roll. Ooh, excellent.
Ooh,
So you can give out either 2 +1s, or I'll let you give out 1 +2 bonus.
I'll give out a +1 to Ellis and a +1 to Ulysses.
Perfect. Ellis, you're up next. You get a +1 on this action if you go after the prison truck.
I will.
Going for tires.
Yes.
So a net +1, so +2.
Okay. And I
Ooh,
missed.
And you miss. It was close. It was close.
Oh, give it.
This guy's unconscious. He needs to make an endurance check to see if he can pop up. Yeah. He gets up, dusts himself off, but that's his turn.
Oh, okay, that guy is cooler than me. Holy crap.
Yeah. He gets up and like licks the blood off his hand like Bruce Lee. Like he's ready to go to town with you. This next guy, he's going to fire at Chief.
You gotta give it to them. They're good at hitting.
Yeah, they can hit. They just can't seem to put enough damage together. So again, rounds bounce off of you, but no significant damage. Ulysses, you get a +1 on this action.
Right.
Go for the driver again.
So, yeah, I think that's what I'll do.
Ooh, okay. Roll 3d6 for the fire damage too. How do you kill the driver? What happens?
So my laser pistol shoots through the glass on the front of the truck,
Like
and
it
it
melts the glass.
yeah, it burns or melts a hole right through, and it hits this guy square in the chest and sets him on fire, and he kind of burns up for a minute, and then he's no more.
And he falls forward, probably lands on the horn, so the horn's just going off on this prison truck.
And then I can move 3 squares as a minor action.
Yes. Unless you used an action
Alright.
to aim there.
No, I just had my +1 from Dalamont.
Perfect. So then you can move 3 squares.
Moving over the debris now.
Okay. This soldier here, he is going to fire at Justin. It's a bit of a longer range, but he sees where that shot rang out from, and he lays down fire on Justin. And that's, again, it's a hit, but it's not going to get through your combat armor. The prison truck is a sitting duck. Justin, your turn.
All right. I'm going to try to take out that guy that shot at me.
Perfect.
Was it this guy here?
Nope, the other one.
This guy here?
Yep, that guy there.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to aim. +1.
Oh, narrowly
Kablooey.
missed.
Bummer.
Don't worry, Chief's got you. Chief?
Yeah, Chief, who I don't think he in any way would have ever to get back. He didn't even know that. Swiveled over to these other two here. seeing one taking fire, he'll probably hit the other one. Yeah, that's these guys. They're actually quite impressive when you think about all the things they've done.
They're fanatical. Wow.
Oh,
Let me give him that damage. Okay, he is dead. How do you take that guy out?
yeah. The other guy, I don't know. I just hit him in the leg or on the ground enough to where it really, really screwed him up. But this guy, I just hit him in like the head and shoulders. It's just gone.
Nice. Yeah, just you see this red mist spray up from his neck stump as he stumbles backwards. Sir Dalamont, you can hear Chief just like saying "Yeehaw" back there as he's firing just at everything that moves. And you're grateful that you're not within range of that gun arc, that it swivels over your head and there's no chance he's going to hit you because he's hitting everything else. The prison truck seems to be dead on the ground, not moving. You can see smoke pouring out of the front. You can see a little bit of smoke starting to seep from the tires, and from that smoke in the front starting to seep through the vehicle, kind of coming up through ventilation seams. They're getting smoked on the inside. Whether they're on fire or not, you don't know, but for sure there's smoke. They hopefully have breathers on, not relying on the vehicle's environmental controls. If they don't have breathers on, they're breathing in smoke right now. So what does Sir Dalamont do?
Yeah, situation's getting worse for the truck there. So he's gonna drive the ATV right up next to it.
Go ahead and give me another drive auto roll.
And
Or drive wheeled roll. Well, that's like your best failure so far. That's at least close. So you get up close. There's a lot of bouncing, a lot of jostling, but you do manage to get close. You can't get much closer because of the burning wreckage of that armored car. So you're still, 4 or 5 meters away from it, but you're close enough you could easily hop out and dash over there if you had to. So you, that's your action. Ellis, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to try to take out the Senless soldier.
Okay.
Let me see. That one.
Oh,
And I miss.
a miss. And this guy is, he's going to shoot at, he can see, well, he's going to go up for Sir Dalamont again. And that's a hit, so, and it's a critical, so you, even if it doesn't get through your armor, you take 1 point of damage, but, big deal. So, Sir Dalamont, you take 1 point to your endurance. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that on your character sheet. You've taken 1 damage. Perfect. And Ulysses, you're up next.
So, do we know how we need to get into the truck? Is that clear?
You can't see from here. If you get close, you can see what the situation is. There's probably a keypad on the back that would unlock it, or from inside the cab, but that's now an inferno.
I guess I'll just maybe my whole move around to the back of the truck. Would I have enough movement?
Sorry, you broke up on me. You're going where?
So I just used my whole turn to move to the back of the truck. Would I have enough movement for that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you could. You could get back there. Back about where Chief's token is. Yep, right there.
Yeah, Chief's on turret, so he's not actually where he's at.
Yeah. But you get to the back, and you do see there is a keypad here. This soldier is going to turn and fire at Justin. And that's a hit, but again, it's not enough damage to get through the armor. Justin, your turn.
All right, I'm gonna shoot at the guy that shot at me.
Perfect.
I'm gonna aim at him. All right, here we go. Ah, dang.
That's a ton of damage too.
Bummer.
Uh,
Oh well.
You do see some flames kind of pouring on the ground over here where the beam missed. Chief, you're up.
All right. Well, Chief's not going to be able to help much with the door, so I think he's still looking downrange at this. He still hasn't noticed the boy who lived over here,
Right.
so because I mean that guy's definitely dead. So he would keep shooting at this guy.
Nice.
Sorry, and he shot at Dalamont too, but you know
He did, yeah. And he's been shooting at you.
it's
as
combat. They all have, but you know he's on the loud gun. Oh, and he misses.
well.
I think
Oh,
for the first
rare
time.
miss, yeah.
Well, I mean, he missed during the burst fires, but
so
thankfully,
Dalamont.
he's got good.
He's got good range. Just
Dalmont,
someone needs to try and hack that key.
he's gonna. Yeah, so Dalmont's gonna try and go up to the truck and get it open by hacking the keypad.
Okay, you're gonna need to give me a roll for that. That is going to be a. I'll give you a. Let's see, a computers roll to try to hack this. So it's electronics computers.
Gotcha.
Oh, you got it. Nice. So
Wow. Well,
yeah, you. How do you hack into this? How do you get this unlocked?
He's up to it, sees the keypad, and he's done a little bit of hacking actually in his life. Where back in college and medical school, he sometimes went on the professor's computers when maybe they weren't looking and looked at some test answer keys. So he's not inexperienced when it comes to getting into systems.
Nice. Yeah, you kind of look to the side, look to the left, to the right. You know, make sure no one's watching, and you pop the panel off, short circuit a few wires, and the door to the prison truck begins to open. Now, let me explain what happens before Ellis takes your turn. So when the doors open, a tall man steps out in a clean uniform. His hands are bound, but not tightly. His smile is not that of a prisoner. Well, well, look at you, hearts pounding like heroes. Rebels always did love their theatrics. He slowly pulls his hands free, the restraints dropping with a metallic clink. You thought you were clever, fast, righteous. Gods, I bet one of you even whispered a line about freedom before the fight started. But you didn't stop to ask why the coordinates were so easy to find, or why high-value political prisoners were being carted through the Badlands with no air support. He steps closer, brushing dust off his coat. This convoy? It's scrap. The crew, expendable. And me? Well, I'm just the bait. While you were out here playing war heroes, the real transport, what did they call it? Convoy Theta 7? Yes, that one. It's probably halfway to the perimeter by now. Lights cold, silent, untouchable. I'm afraid you won't be rescuing your friends. No. So close, yet so far away. Go on, take me prisoner, do what you must, but know that you have lost today. Sir Dalamont, what's your response to that?
Dalmont's gonna hit him with the stun stick.
Nice. Give me a roll.
Well done.
Let's see.
I'll put Convoy Commander
Yeah.
up here. Nice. Oh, a miss. Dang it. Yeah, you swing the stick at him, and he ducks, and it swishes over his head. Ellis, your turn. Now, you all have comms in here, but this is a bad spot for comms. Everything's bouncing off these walls. So you probably didn't hear that conversation. But you did see this man step out of the truck, and you saw Sir Dalamont swing his stun stick at him.
Oh. Okay. After I saw that, I guess I would probably try to shoot him,
Okay?
I guess.
Before you do, are you trained in tactics?
No.
Okay, go ahead and take your shot then. Oh,
Did
and
I
you
hit?
you hit.
Wow, okay.
Okay, he is not wearing combat. Well, I've got him listed in combat armor here, but he's not wearing armor. So that is 13 damage. Where do you hit him to render him unconscious?
Oh, maybe like the side of the neck as he's standing back up? Or like by the shoulder, I guess?
So you hit him in the shoulder. He actually does a complete flip in the air, like a side flip, as that round knocks him off of his feet. And he hits the ground just in a daze as you take that shot. This soldier here says, "They fell for it! The fools! They're miles away by now." And you turn and you see that cloud of dust disappearing in the distance, and you wonder if maybe that is where the prisoners were kept, in the maintenance truck, or if what he's telling is the truth and that they took an alternate route. But you know that the two routes are blocked. There's a good chance they're in that maintenance vehicle. He's going to fire off a round at this rebel soldier that he has wounded here before. Ooh, okay. And he takes that guy's head clean off. That rebel soldier will die. Ulysses, your turn.
Right. Could I get word then to everyone else that we need to go after the maintenance truck?
Yeah, you can shout it out. The only operational vehicles you have now that are capable of pursuing it are the 3 motorcycles.
Yeah, if I could shout that out, and then
And you can fit, it can
Would
be
that
a
be a
driver
minor
and a
action?
passenger, so you can fit 2 of you each on a motorcycle.
okay, and then is that just a minor action to do that then?
That's a free action to shout that out.
Okay, then I'm gonna shoot this guy in the leg.
Okay? Nice. You're shooting the convoy commander?
Yes.
He's unconscious. He's got 4 hit points left. He's not dead, but he's bleeding out. You know, he will likely not survive these wounds. But then you shout out, "We got to get the maintenance vehicle." Had you guys passed all of those checks when I would have you do like recons, it's to see that vehicle is it looks far heavier, like the digging into the dirt, the tires are bulging a little bit. Looks like it's got some armor plating on it. Yeah, that's where your prisoners are. Senless soldier here. He's going to shoot at this rebel right here. They're not able to get through your armor effectively, so they're going to start killing your allies. And that's a hit. There he goes. Perfect. And Justin, you're up.
Guess I'll try to take this guy out here.
Now you do have a motorcycle right next to you if you want to hop on that bike.
Oh yeah, I guess I could do that. And then start following those guys, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to get on,
All right, let's do that.
if you want to get on the bike to operate the bike, it's the skill is drive wheel, and you get a +1 because the vehicle has an agility bonus of +1. So to get that bike flipped around, and you can't carry a passenger on there if you like. If you want to pick one of the others up, the problem is if you're going to get Ulysses, Dalamont, or Chief, you're going to be probably taking fire. You could go over and get Ellis, but Ellis already has some bikes over there. Or you could just try and pursue that vehicle.
Well, I got a rebel soldier right here, so maybe I'll just have him go on the back.
Perfect. So then if you want to give me a drive wheel with a +1.
A drive +1.
Nice. So you peel out in a spray of gravel as you take off, moving up the hill. You probably come up this way and around, trying to get close as much distance as you can between you and that maintenance vehicle that's getting away. Chief, you're up.
Yeah, realizing they've been duped, it's a hard choice. Could cover you guys while you all get on bikes, but he's pretty good at driving himself. You could book it over here, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, some of these rebel soldiers are actually 2 soldiers. If like 6 to 8 dudes can't take out 2 guys,
Yeah, certainly they'd be able to hold their own here.
it's unfortunate, but it is war. So I think Chief would probably try to book it for the motorcycle.
So, and you could move 18 meters. That would take your whole turn, but you'd be able to get over to the bikes. And then your next turn,
nice.
You'd be able to come back and get like Dalamont, and then Ellis could go and get Ulysses. So Dalamont, you can get on do you want to run over to where they are? Do you wait there? Do you want to try and drive with this vehicle here?
Yeah, you just drive the all-terrain vehicle over to the bike. If he's
I
able
ask for
to.
another drive wheel roll with a penalty here, with a -2. That thing's taking a beating.
Maybe it's best he doesn't drive anything.
So you head this way, forgetting that there were spike strips here, and drive over the spike strips. That's the fastest way to the bike. And all the tires, all the pressure comes out. By the time you wheel over here, you're just on rims and flecks of rubber flying off here and there. But you do manage to get over to where the bikes are. But it wasn't pretty. Do you guys let Sir Dalamont drive, or is he going to be a passenger on the motorcycle?
Chief's driving his own bike.
Ellis, you can grab a
Can hop
bike.
on,
You want to
like-
go and pick up Ulysses?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so that's a drive wheel. Okay, that's not great. You struggled to get over some of these rocks, um, and you make it about to where there's this big rock fall here, and you're just struggling to get around some of these rocks. You saw I don't want to go down this way because Sir Dalamont has found every piece of that spike strip by now.
Right.
I'm going to take us out of combat order for now. Ulysses, are you going to run over to where Ellis is with the motorcycle? Are you going to ride with Ellis?
Yeah, I can wait for them to bring the motorcycle over.
Who's going to drive, you or Ellis?
For drive,
The other one can use a gun from the back.
I've got a -2.
What's your drive wheel, Ellis? Is a 0. So I think
Yeah.
you're probably the better driver. In fact, and it looks like you're encumbered. Let me get some of your gear so it's not on your person. So you're not carrying these things. There we go. Okay, and then Dalamont and Chief on the other bike.
That sounds about right.
And who's driving that bike?
Chief has a wheel one, so probably Chief. He definitely wants to drive his own thing. He's not a passenger kind of guy, except for if he's got a big ass gun.
Which you don't on the bike. Okay, we're gonna have a brief little pursuit here. So I need from the 3 drivers, which is Justin, Chief, and Ellis. I need the drive wheel rolls.
Get a bonus of 1 because agility, you said?
Yes, you get a bonus 1.
Average difficulty, I presume.
Yep, it's gonna be an 8. Oh, Chief and Justin. Can Ellis keep up? Nice.
Hell yeah.
So, like the Magnificent Seven, the Magnificent Five are riding their electric bikes down that dusty path, and you're faster than that maintenance vehicle. And it takes you just a few minutes, and you're able to get caught up with it. And you can see the driver looking rather nervous in the mirrors. He can look back and see you. You can see his face. The passengers, if you want to try and take a shot, you can take a shot. So passengers are going to be Ulysses and Dalamont. So I think only Ulysses has a gun. Or
yes.
you can drive up alongside and they can try to leap off and grab the maintenance vehicle and maybe find a way in. How do you guys want to do this?
How fast is the maintenance vehicle moving?
So it's moving quickly. Your bikes have a top speed. It's considered high speed, 200 to 300 kilometers per hour, and the maintenance vehicle is about half that speed. So you're probably doing about 100 kilometers per hour. That's if you're jumping from a bike onto there. That's about how fast it's going. So falling off would be bad.
Yeah, I think Ulysses is just gonna try and maybe shoot.
Do you want to try and shoot the driver?
Yes.
Okay, so and you're on Ellis's bike. The chain bonus is +1, so you get a +1 to your gun combat here.
And can I aim?
Yes.
All right.
Nice. And roll 3d6 for fire damage. Excellent. Sir Dalamont, you're the passenger on the other bike. What are you going to do? You're going to get a whopping +3 bonus to whatever you attempt here.
Should have given you my grenade.
So you can see the grenade. It's it's
Yeah.
maybe in the mesh webbing of the combat armor. You could reach up, pluck that grenade off, toss it into the cab as you guys peel away. As the cab just erupts on fire.
Well, the problem is he's worried about the prisoners that are in it.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to miss. Definitely want to get that cabin.
Yeah. He doesn't want to totally obliterate everything. Maybe he'll grab. He knows Chief's strapped with like guns and stuff. He's gonna try and grab a gun and shoot into the cab.
Yeah, Chief literally has multiple guns, so I imagine one would be across his back or something, like strapped.
In fact, Dalmont, having sparred with Chief many times, knows exactly where to keep his gun.
He's got a Gauss rifle or a laser carbine. The rifle's going to be a little tougher and a little unwieldy on bike. The carbine, you could probably get a shot with that. And so that's going to be a gun combat energy weapon if you want to fire the laser carbine.
Yeah, sorry, that was gun combat. Well, just any gun combat is the same for me.
It's all -3.
So.
And did you add your chain bonus? You got a chain bonus of what? Do we say +3? So yeah, that's
yeah. Ooh,
that's pretty rough. So let's see. That's fine. So let's see. This doesn't tell me what the dice were. That's still a miss. You rake the front of the machine with this laser carbine. You're like, oh my goodness, you've never fired this thing before, and the laser just pours over the front, and flames pour up and down the side of the maintenance vehicle. Justin, you are on the bike. You've got someone with you. He's got a bow. You get him up and position him to take a shot with his bow. Let me give him a shot. And he gets a +1. And he gets a hit.
no.
Armor piercing 2, damage 9, plus the 18. The vehicle skids and veers to the left as the arrow punches through the armor and into the lung of the driver. And as he slumps forward, the wheel pulls left, and the vehicle skids to the left before coming to rest in a ditch. The back wheel's still spinning. We're going to just fast forward a little bit to the end because you guys are going to crack this open and find what you're looking for. The prison bus holds 2 spies, Idar and Radius, and I have a picture of Idar and Radius, along with 4 political prisoners who have opposed Senless, but they've never really joined the rebellion. One of them is overjoyed to see you, reaches out his hand and in friendship and says, "Oh, my friends, I am Wegosh. I am yours. I owe you my life." And so between the people that you have spared, Idar and Radius, these were the primary targets, but Wegosh, he seems eager to agree to help you out. Over the next few days, the rescued spies are treated for their injuries and they're debriefed by Ada. They go into detail about their plans to carve a tunnel to the GDCO vaults, but they hit a fuel line and the whole section exploded. Everything associated with the IDs they were using have been burned, but they still know the station's systems in and out, and they have some codes in the system that you can use to dock as legitimate megacorporation traffic, but they warn you security is tight. The destroyed corporate section is being repaired and full of work crews, and the whole area devoid of grav or life support. It will be tricky. After another week, you get healed up from injuries, and Ada asks you to make final preparations. You receive gifts from the rebels, small handmade fare, and a cutting of hallucinogenic mushrooms. It becomes clear during the receiving, however, that the rebels do not expect you to survive. That night there is a storm, twin tornadoes dancing amidst thunder that cracks like bombs going off. All of the locals agree that it is an omen, although none can decide if it is good or bad. And as you head off in the Aurora's Fortune towards Senless, you wonder if you'll ever make it back here. And that is the end of the Darkwater Convoy. You did it. I thought they were going to get away for sure. You managed to catch up. For your heroics, you will be credited with 200,000 credits that you could split up. That's 40,000 credits each. So on your character sheets, you can add those credits. If you open your sheet, you can go to finance, and under cash, you can add 200,000 to your cash on hand. And then I use the optional traveler rule from the Traveler Companion for experience points. So rather than just earning experience points from study, you actually earn points for playing. And you will earn 1 general experience point for the game. You can spend that now if you want, or if you want to save it, you have to decide where you're going to apply it. So to raise a skill, to get a skill to level 0, it will cost you 1 point. To go from 0 to 1 is 1 point. From 1 to 2 will cost you 2 points. From 2 to 3 will cost you 4 points, and so on. You can also increase your characteristics like strength, endurance, and dex, but that's significantly more expensive. But you can decide kind of where you want to put those points now. Ulysses, do you know where you're going to put your points towards?
Yeah, I have 2 points now saved up for piloting.
And you're currently piloting
To
2?
go from... Yeah, so that would be to go from piloting 2 to 3. I've got 2 points saved up.
So you need 4 points total. So you're halfway there. What about Sir Dalamont? Do you know where you want to put that skill? Or do you want to put that towards something that you already have good skills in that you want to raise up?
Yeah, he's gonna, I think, bank the point for leadership.
Nice. So your leadership is at 1 right now? Oh, it's 0. So
It's at 0?
So you could spend it.
Oh,
right
he
now.
can use
Go
it
from
now?
0 to 1, yeah, it would just cost you 1 point. So do you want me to bump your leadership up?
Okay, yeah, that's what... yeah.
Perfect. Okay, leadership has gone up to 1. Justin, do you know how you want to spend your experience point?
I'll go 0 into recon.
Perfect. So I'll check your recon box. That goes to 0. Excellent. And Ellis, do you know how you want to spend yours?
I think I'll put it into explosives.
Yeah, that would have been useful today. So let's go explosives. Perfect. So that goes to 0. And what about Chief?
I think it has to be heavy weapons vehicle.
Yeah, I think just from what you learned from that, I think absolutely. So I'll give you a 1 in there. Perfect. Awesome. Any in fact, and I'm gonna get rid of that Gauss cannon out of your inventory so you're not tempted to use it all the time.
Yeah, that'll be good for next encounter.
Get rid of that. There we go. And perfect. Any questions about the session, about the plot moving forward, kind of where we're at, what we're doing?
Yeah, how fast is Lady Ada to ask for that combat armor back? I mean, it's kind of useful.
Some of it, like Chief's, needs to be repaired right away, and she wants that back just because it's so badly damaged. And she takes back the Gauss rifle and the Gauss pistol. She lets you keep that grenade. She thinks maybe that's going to come in handy. But yeah, she says, she would be willing to perhaps sell you a suit of combat armor if you really wanted it. It's only 88,000 credits, and she would sell you a suit.
Oh.
And let me get that Gauss pistol off of here. Just removing the stuff that she takes back. But yeah, if you do want to buy that combat armor, she would be willing to sell it. The problem with combat armor is law level. Depending on where you go, that may be forbidden in certain starports or certain places that you go. Most of the places you've been lately have been kind of remote planets where no one gives a crap. You just, you use it and so be it. But if you're going into more civilized areas, you may find difficulties taking a combat armor unless you're part of a military. But that doesn't mean you can't leave it on your ship.
Yeah, that's true
and
if we
wear it when you need it.
Well, if we're gonna, when we eventually get out of this system, we don't want to be boarded by some Imperials and they find combat armor on board our ship.
Right. Which is why she takes it back. The less attention drawn to you, the better. Although today she wanted you to survive. So everyone has allocated their experience points. I've removed all the equipment that Ada wants back. If any of you want to buy that combat armor, let me know. I can drop it on your sheet and you can deduct 88,000 credits. If you want to buy any of the Gauss weapons, she will sell those as well.
Oh, okay. That's tempting. The armor, I mean, yeah. Chief would be willing to give her like an even 100,000 because his armor is so screwed up.
Yeah, it's got some damage. She'll probably, in fact, the rebels will probably hang that up like some sort of memorial to your fierceness. A Gauss pistol is cheap. It's only 500 credits. And a Gauss rifle is only like 1,500 for a Gauss rifle.
Yeah. If he could get a rifle too, he'd be down. That was really helpful against the armor of this game.
Yeah. So does Chief want to buy a Gauss rifle?
Yeah, that was 1,500.
1,500, and I'll put that on your character sheet. And
Oh, perfect. That makes my number even too.
Perfect. Anyone else want to buy a Gauss pistol? There's 2 Gauss pistols or combat armor.
No, I think Ulysses will buy a manual though for Sir Delamon on how to drive a wheeled vehicle.
Yeah.
Put it in H. Anything else?
He's used to flying.
Yeah, if it were a helicopter.
vehicles.
So as an aside, with this scenario where you have the option to kind of craft stuff, I was thinking, kind of ahead of time, like, what do I think they'll do? And I was thinking, man, if I were Sir Dalamont, I would have crafted like some little gyrocopter, like on the Road Warrior, the old Mad Max movie, like single seat helicopter, have to have electric batteries, and you could fly over and drop bombs on stuff. That's the cool thing with this scenario is there's no, like, it doesn't give me guidelines for what you guys will do. It just says, here's the problem, and the travelers get to come up with the solution. And you guys came up with a good one. You were able to stop the cars. The only downside was that other vehicle got away, but you were able to catch up to it thanks to very timely motorcycle rolls and the fact that it was a slow vehicle. But yeah, well done. And I had fun. I hope you guys did as well. I've got your characters saved, and I will keep them saved. And any last questions before we sign off? All right.